Good morning, everybody. On time, without supervision. I'm killing it today. I'm absolutely killing it today. It's going to be a good day. And welcome. Welcome to everybody as you roll in. Do me a favor, if you could, hit that like button. Share this with your favorite or least favorite Republican. Share it with your liberal friends. Share it with your mom, especially if your mom's hot. Have a little chat with your mom. Share it with anybody, but specifically share it with your mom. That's what I have to say. Good morning. Tanya, good morning. It's just me today. I'm all alone. Felice is taking a well-deserved day off where she can go do whatever the hell she's doing. Heatherface, good morning. Thank you for the hearts. Good morning, Mikey. Brooklyn, good morning. Donnie, good morning. Thank you for the handsome comment. Ruby, Kimmy, good morning. It's good to say, AJ, what's up? AJ was getting after it last night on Dougie's Live. I really enjoyed that. Kristen, Cam, good morning. Catnip, Everqueen, good morning. Good morning, my pretty. Thank you, Handyman. Lola, good morning. Steph, good morning. Where's the host? Good question. I see stupid people. Host is not going to be here today. Co-host is on his own. Let me decline that. And do that. There we go. What is that? What was that? Rocks. What is that? Serene, I don't even get that. It's a rock guitar. I assume you meant rock star, but rock guitar? Am I a rock guitar? I like that. I have no idea. Yeah, look, if you guys were here to see Felice, just know she's not here, so you can take off. I understand that most of you are only here for Felice, and that's fine with me. It makes sense to me. I guess it's not fine. It hurts my feelings, but I get it. Let me pull up here's the good news. The good news is, as she should, Felice doesn't entirely trust me. Despite I used to run this on my own, but it wasn't that organized before Felice came along. So because Felice is such a wonderful human being, and because she does not trust me to do anything on my own, which is fair, she provided an outline for us today, anyways. So the good news is or I guess the bad news is she's not here, but the good news is it's mostly her information. It's mostly her outline. And so we will get that. Thank you. For those of you who say you're here for me, thank you. I don't know what's wrong with you, why you would show up for me, but I appreciate it. And I will do my very best to make it worth it. That being said, as you guys are hitting that like button, which I see, look at all those hearts going up. Boop me right there on the nose. I'll try and stay still so you can boop me on the nose. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those shares up. And for those of you in the comments that enjoy being a little bit trolly, feel free to farm potatoes all day long in the comments. That would be wonderful. Look, I just got done watching the hearing with Trump about. Let's just put it this way: Donald Trump had a hearing today that is deciding whether or not the president of the United States can just commit crimes willy-nilly and have no repercussions. And I just want to play this clip. By the way, Trump's lawyer is John Sauer. I'm not 100% sure that his lawyer is not RFK. I'm also not 100% sure that his lawyer is not the grown-up version of Froggy from Little Rascals. And you'll understand what I'm saying here in a minute. Let me pull up this clip, though, from today. I thought this, a great job, Felice, getting this over to me. I just thought this encompassed, and I apologize, it's a 5-minute clip, but I think it's really, really important. I think this brings together the whole picture of just exactly what the hearing is actually about, and the implications of a ruling in this hearing. So let me get this. Sorry, I just saw AJ's picture that he sent me. If you're in the Discord, that's beautiful. But here's this clip. And again, I apologize for the length. I may stop it, but here is D. John Sauer, attorney for former President Donald Trump, speaking to federal judges and on the presidential immunity.
Order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival.
Let me start that over.
That's an official act in order to order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival. That's an official act in order to SEAL Team 6.
He would have to be and would speedily be, impeached and convicted before the criminal prosecution.
But if he weren't, there would be no criminal prosecution, no criminal liability for that?
Chief Justice's opinion in Marbury against Madison and our constitutional tradition and the plain language of the impeachment judgment clause all clearly presuppose that what the founders were concerned about was not.
I asked you a yes or no question. Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first. And
so your answer is
no. My answer is qualified yes. There's a political process that would have to occur under the structure of our Constitution, which would require impeachment and conviction by the Senate. In these exceptional cases, as the OLC memo itself points out from the Department of Justice, you'd expect a speedy impeachment and conviction. But what the founders were much more worried about than using criminal prosecution to discipline presidents was what James Madison calls in Federalist Number 47, the newfangled and artificial treasons. They were much more concerned about the abuse of the criminal process for political purposes to disable the presidency from factions and political opponents. And of course, that's exactly what we see in this case.
I've asked you a series of hypotheticals about.
So for those of you that are rolling in, just to recap, because I know some are rolling in, the original question from this judge was, could the president use SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political opponent and have immunity? And the answer from Attorney Sauer is that yes, but like if he wasn't convicted, if he wasn't impeached in the House and then convicted in the Senate, then yes. That's his answer. His answer is yes, that the president can do that. And we'll keep going on here, but notice his counter argument. His counter argument here to the question, could the president and obviously they're using an extreme crime to paint a picture here. They're using an extreme crime to say, like, obviously the president can't do everything. Now this when you talk about immunity, as it was written, if you go through the Federalist Papers, if you look at the origination, he's saying that this was written so that so that people couldn't prosecute a sitting president for no reason, or so that they couldn't abuse that system to bog down a president. Well, that's not entirely true. In fact, I've seen no evidence that is true. When you look at the Federalist Papers, when you read what the founding fathers were thinking when they wrote this clause, what they were concerned about is the president's ability to act quickly, make decisive decisions without worrying about, like, am I going to be prosecuted for this? So this would be things like sign an executive order. Let's say during I'll throw some bread out to the Republicans out here. Let's say during the BLM protests, had those gotten out of control, if the president ordered the National Guard to go in to clean things up, if it was really violent, he needs to be able to make that decision very quickly without worrying about prosecution for every little thing he does. And it was a smart thing for our founding fathers to put in the Constitution, because they understood that even then in the 1700s, it's not like we weren't politically divided. They understood that you could use prosecution as a way to keep the president from doing anything. But I want to add the context as well, that we are talking about prosecuting the president now. We're not talking about prosecuting the president while he was in office. They didn't do that. They didn't bring this prosecution, and all of these crimes happened once he was a lame duck. Once he was leaving office. All the crimes that we're talking about here took place while he was president, but they were to benefit him. And his argument is he was doing it to benefit the country. But again, committing crime, you can't just go commit crimes to benefit the country. Even if he was right, even if the election was stolen, you still can't go out and commit crimes and not be prosecuted. But let's continue this video.
About criminal actions that could be taken by a president and could be considered official acts, and I've asked you, would such a president be subject to criminal prosecution if he's not impeached or convicted?
Requirement.
And your answer, your yes or no answer is no.
I believe I said qualified yes if he's impeached and convicted first. We may be saying the same
question
thing.
was, okay, so he's not impeached or convicted. Let's put that aside. You're saying a president could sell pardons, could sell military secrets, could order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival.
Sale of military secrets strikes me as something that might not be held to be an official act. The sale of pardons is something that's come up historically and was not prosecuted.
But your brief says that communicating with an executive branch agency is an official act, and communicating with a foreign government is an official act. That's what presidents do.
Very strange. situation. There's very strong examples of potential official acts. If you look at what Chief Justice Mitchell said in his medicine, he said, rising directly under Article 2, Section 1, that the courts, that the president's official acts are, quote, never examinable by the courts. And he says it like 4 different times on pages 164 to 166.
Well, let me ask you about that then, counsel, because your position is, as I understand it, if a president is impeached and convicted by Congress, then he is subject to criminal prosecution, correct?
Yeah, be it necessary, said to prosecution.
Is that a yes to criminal prosecution, correct?
Yeah, be it necessary, said to prosecution.
Is that a yes?
Aware of. What this should tell you is that Donald Trump is running out of excuses for what he did. He's running out of defenses, and he's trying every single defense he can possibly come up with. For those that, for those that are on our side, we understand, because we're not morons who just listen to what Donald Trump says and repeat it without critically thinking about what this means. Essentially, what they're arguing and what the judges, all 3 judges in this case, are saying is, you're making the argument that the president can only ever be convicted of a crime if they are first impeached by the House and then convicted by the Senate. And if they are not impeached by the House and convicted by the Senate for acts that take place while they are president, then they can never be prosecuted. Here's the problem with that. All the crimes that Trump committed while president that they're talking about right now, we didn't find out until later. It took us interviewing, it took us subpoenaing documents, it took us getting phone records, email records, text records. It took Trump committing other crimes that led us to learn about these crimes. That's the problem with this argument. For anybody, whether you like Trump or not, and for specifically to those of you who like Donald Trump, what's the option here? Do you think it's okay? Let's say that Trump wins. Let's say Trump wins in November, and between November and January, Joe Biden goes in and he just starts committing crimes. He goes in and he hacks in, or he breaks into where they keep the voting records. He breaks into the machines and he creates new records, and he creates new records that show that he won, and then he wins. And he does it last minute. He does it a day before Donald Trump is supposed to take office. A day before. How are we going to... Nobody investigated that. And now he's president again because now he's won. Now you're saying that you can't convict him. And now you're going to rely on a Democrat-run House and Senate or Senate to not only convict or impeach, but also convict him. This sets the stage. This is such an important court case in the history of our country. For all the things that we consistently overblow what's one of the most important times in the country. But this is an important decision because this is going to tell us how we treat presidents going forward. Should the president be required to keep the law, or should the president not be required to keep the law? That's really what we're talking about here. I thought that was interesting. We'll have more on that tomorrow. It didn't finish before we got going, and I wasn't able to pull enough clips, but we'll have more on that tomorrow. Obviously, big story yesterday was and I'll be honest, I hesitate covering this stuff, but I'm going to, just because I feel like everybody. Lib Wranglers here talking nonsense in the comments. Lib Wrangler, you're welcome to come. By the way, any of you Republicans that are in the chat, anybody MAGA, at any time, if you want to hear me stop talking about the things that are on my list, hop in the box. Jen will bring you up. I'm taking opposition all day today. So, obviously the Epstein documents have been released. We're reading through those a lot yesterday, and I'm going to be pretty honest about this. I don't know that they're as damning as we try and make them to be, specifically about Trump. I don't know. Trump is about to speak. Somebody in the Discord, can you give me the link to Trump speaking? We may go live to that in a second. Jen, if you can, I'll pull up the chat in Discord. Anyways, so the main thing that came out yesterday was some emails from, I'm trying to remember the names here, Sarah Ransom, and it's a string of emails to New York Post columnist Maureen Callahan. In these, she has claims that she has copies of tapes that Epstein made of some high-profile friends, including Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson, allegedly having sex with an unnamed woman. So as we go through these, I just want to highlight a few things that we saw, and I want to, before we go this, I do want to be clear. These are emails. These are accusations. We so far don't have access to any tapes. So far, we have not confirmed any tapes exist. So I want to be really, really careful with this and just say that these are accusations. And I don't think that the evidence that has come out so far is damning, which isn't that surprising, because if they were damning, we likely would have had court cases. We would have had multiple court cases about this. This was always going to be the case with these documents. These documents are released to the public, and I think what they are ultimately going to show is there was never really enough evidence to charge people. I don't think anything exonerates either Clinton or Branson or Trump or Dershowitz. I don't think any of this stuff exonerates them. But I didn't find anything here that makes me say, yes, 100% guilty. So let's go first. Who is Sarah Ransom? She's born in 1984, a year older than me. She was born in South Africa, and she got involved with Epstein when she was 22. So this isn't an accusation of abusing children. She had numerous photos, in-depth details about her time, not only with Epstein in the States, but Epstein at the islands as well. The emails are a necessary antidote to Mrs. Ransom's deposition misstatements. This is from who was the lawyer here? This is from Andrew Selly, and this is the opposition to Sarah Ransom here. I don't know who's in the box there. Oh, there we go. We'll take a break. One and only. Welcome.
What up, RTP?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so do you think, just a quick question, because
Sure.
I only got a few, and it's cool that you brought me up and nobody was on there, but do you think when they raided Epstein's mansion in New York and the island, if there was any footage or evidence they could have used against Trump when they did that, do you think they would have did it right away?
Well, who's they?
The FBI.
I don't know. That happened under Trump, right?
Well, yeah, it happened under Trump, but why would they? It doesn't mean they love Trump.
Well, it doesn't mean they love Trump, but here, I don't know if you're aware of the court case that's happening right now, and if you're aware of the statements of Bill Barr. But Bill Barr believed that you could not prosecute a sitting president for any crimes, either from previous to him being president or post. Bill Barr believed that you couldn't prosecute a president while they were in office.
I believe that's what Bill Barr's saying, because Bill Barr had somebody like me and you walk up to him and ask him and say, why did your dad defend Epstein? Why did your dad work with Epstein? And he wouldn't answer the dude. He walked off. So,
Wait, but hold on. This was unrelated. This had nothing to do with Epstein when he said this. But it's standing.
No, I totally understand.
Hold on, real quick. It's standing rule. It was standing rule with the Department of Justice and the FBI that they could not prosecute Donald Trump while he was in office. So again, I actually said, I don't know if you caught the beginning of this. I don't actually think any of this information proves that Donald Trump did anything. I think these are accusations. They neither prove nor exonerate. I think after reading through everything that was released yesterday, what we have is a person who made a lot of claims, claimed that they had videos. They have never presented the videos. They have settled multiple cases outside of court, and eventually she said, I want to drop, I just want to drop it. I'm not going to send anything to you. I don't want to do this anymore. I believe she even said that actually I do know that she said that she lied about having the videos. So she has admitted that she lied. Now, some people have said that that might have been part of a payoff. She also said that she felt like she was being followed. She knew that she had been followed. She felt like her and her family were in danger. And that's why ultimately when we see these documents, there's a reason they didn't prosecute. I think the reason that nobody prosecuted Trump is because we don't have evidence, like we don't have these videos. It's same reason they didn't go after Clinton or Dershowitz or Richard Branson for these charges. It's because we don't actually have proof. All we have is accusations here.
No, see, RTP, like I said, Jeffrey Epstein's biggest thing was blackmail. So when you walked into his place,
Says who? Says who?
that's what his whole case was.
What do you mean his whole case was?
RTP, he had Bush in a blue, Clinton in a blue dress with red heels over his fireplace. They took
It's
that
a
picture.
yeah, it's a painting. He also had a picture. He also had a picture of George
Bush.
Bush, like
Yeah,
sitting on the
so he
ground
had
playing
two
cards.
people
That's not blackmail.
paintings.
Those are wait. You understand? That's not blackmail. Those are paintings. Those aren't photographs.
RTP, most people with common knowledge would know that if Donald Trump was in a blue dress and red heels, they would have some blackmail against him.
Wait,
Come
Bill
on,
Clinton was.
RTP.
Wait, Bill
If I
Clinton
had a
wasn't
blue-
in.
if I
Wait,
had
hold
blue
on.
and a blue
Bill,
dress
wait,
and
hold
red
on.
heels
Hold
on
on.
my
Hold on.
fireplace,
Hold
that
on. I
means
said
have
hold
some
on.
dirt against you.
Hold on, brother. Don't just talk over me.
I'm not trying to.
Okay, that wasn't a picture of Bill Clinton. It was a painting. That's not blackmail. How can you blackmail somebody with a painting?
Well, a blue dress and red heels. I wouldn't want anybody to know I was in that. Nobody knew
He
he was in
wasn't. It was a painting. That wasn't.
So
That's what I
somebody
keep
sat
telling
there
you.
and
He
painted the
didn't pose for that
that.
picture.
RTP, real quick. So somebody sat there and painted that whole picture for him. Anyway, real quick.
Yes, but that doesn't mean Bill Clinton was in a dress and red heels.
So then
Do you
why
think George Bush
why
was
did
sitting
the-
on his
wh-
floor playing
why
with
did the
cards?
why did the owner of Victoria's Secret gift him the mansion in New York and gift him a $30 million private jet? A
Who,
$30 million
Epstein?
private jet. Epstein, correct.
I've no. First of all, I don't know if that's true or not. I've never even heard that, but I don't know. Do you know?
Well, I mean, if I gave somebody, I just look at common knowledge. If I gave somebody a $50 million mansion and I was already rich and a jet, and then he's connected to what he's connected with, most likely he would have some blackmail on somebody.
Wait, why?
What do you mean, why?
Yeah,
You
why?
gifted
Why does
$80
it have to be
million
blackmail?
worth
Do you
of
know what
shit to-
Jeffrey Epstein did?
You gifted 80, he had a fucking island.
Yeah, he bought the island.
With what, how did he become successful?
He was an investor. The reason Jeffrey Epstein is connected to so many famous people is because he invested their money.
Yeah, and just bro, you're
Yeah, and
really-
he did
you're
really well. He
defending
was
the biggest
he was
child
known as a
pedophile.
great he was known to
He
be a
said,
great
yeah.
financier.
Okay, so then JP Morgan got sued in the Virgin Islands for $250 million for helping their money go through the banking system.
Correct.
Okay, when you help a pedophile that has the biggest human trafficking, that has an island for the shit.
Wait, there's no evidence that what Jeffrey Epstein had was anywhere near the largest human trafficking
Yes, it is.
like
That's why
ring. We're talking about like at most I think maybe 100 girls, and that's a lot, and it's awful.
No, there was way more than 100, bro.
Well, I don't
That's
think
100
so.
that told on people. How many?
Well, how do you know? Well, okay,
how
so
many
yeah,
do you think that
confirmed. Wait,
didn't
wait.
tell on
So
people?
confirmed. But let's talk about the things that we know are facts, right?
Okay, but bro-
Maybe it is 10,000, and maybe most of them didn't say anything. But what we do know is that it's like I think it's less than 100. I can't remember what the number is, but it was less than 100. It's still abysmal.
Okay,
but-
let me give you a couple more quick facts.
Sure.
Henry Weinstein went down
Harvey Weinstein.
during that administration. Then the Hollywood cult, Nexium or whatever, that was had the she was a Smallville actor and she went to prison.
Yeah,
for 15
I
years.
know that. I'm very familiar with the Nixium.
Okay,
cult,
that's
yeah.
a cult. Okay, that's a real cult.
Yep.
The Trump members that drive with American flags down the road to a Trump rally is not a cult, brother.
Why is theirs a cult, but the Trump like?
I mean, Joe
I
Biden's
agree.
supporters are a cult then, and they're racist too. I mean, because you could go.
Wait,
both
no.
ways.
Wait, hold on. Don't go. Just explain to me the difference between the Nixium cult and the cult of MAGA. And by the way, when I say cult of MAGA, I mean the people who hang on every word he says, believe every word he says, and go commit crimes in his name.
Oh well, most of Trump supporters don't commit crimes in his name.
Well, most of the Nixium people weren't trafficking women or abusing women. Nixia was a massive organization, and we're talking about like 12 to 15 women. Most of
So
them didn't
Max,
know this was going on. It was only the inner circle at Nixium at the very, very top. It was the inner circle of women who were being branded and who had agreed to be slaves
so you just said it. So
gave
maybe
him
there's a few
compromise so
people.
that he could hold on, just let me finish. They gave him like videos and pictures that he could use to blackmail them. Agreed. I agree with you. It's a cult. I agree wholeheartedly. I just need you to explain to me the difference between those 12 to 15 people in Nixium who were committing crimes and the people who commit crimes in the name of Donald Trump. What's the difference?
That there's probably only about 12 to 15 both ways.
I mean, do you remember January 6th?
Yeah, I do. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
were there more than 12 to 15 people there in Trump gear breaking the law?
Do you remember the other side of the Capitol they didn't show you, and then they showed you
Yeah,
videos
I do. And
after,
guess what?
and they showed you.
This is
Let me-
great news. Have
can
you
I
read?
finish real quick?
Oh yeah, sorry. You're right.
Just real quick. I mean, you and me both saw them open doors for people and allow
Yep.
them to walk in.
Yep.
But why?
Have you read 1776, the Proud Boys document?
Oh, jeez.
No, have you read it? It was in court. This is the part I didn't know. And to full disclosure, I did not know this document was publicly available until yesterday. And I spent like 3 hours reading through this document and taking notes.
So
The Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, they had a plan. And their plan includes having people on the inside that open the doors. They had people, members of Capitol Police who were opening the doors. It's part of their plan. Before this is months before January 6th even happens. They laid out a plan and they said, like, we need some people in Congress that will help us. And then you see these people in Congress were giving people tours. They knew which out of there's like 660 windows in the Capitol building. Almost all of them fairly recently had been renovated so that they were shatterproof glass, but there were some that weren't shatterproof. And people in the audience went straight to those windows. Directly to the windows that were not reinforced. They knew which windows were not reinforced. The doors were opened. They did have people on the inside. And there's also people who opened doors in order to funnel people away from Congress, to trick people. Like the shaman, who clearly just like got wrapped up in this whole thing, wasn't part of the plan. And he had those two officers leading him in the wrong direction. And they led him out. He admitted that in court. They've said the same thing. Like, they're like, yeah, we just made him seem like we were his friend and we were leading him in the wrong direction. But we now know that that's why these Proud Boys got convicted, dude. Because they actually had a plan. They knew they got information beforehand. They knew where to attack. They knew which doors were reinforced.
Did
They
you
knew
watch
exactly how to get to the. They knew
Did you get to
exactly
watch
how
the-
to get to Congress.
real quick, did you get to watch the documentary from Epoch News?
Yeah, it's horrendous, dude.
Oh, really? The one that said that Ashley Babbitt wasn't the only one that passed away in it? Oh,
What does that
and
have to do with
and
it?
and,
What does that have to do
Ja-
with anything?
Jake Lane, that's in prison right now, saved two people or one
What does
person
that have to do with
passed
anything?
away. What do you mean? What does that have to do with anything? They lied.
Do you think you can commit? Do you think that if you do something heroic, your crimes get absolved
Well, if you're trying to save somebody, obviously,
while you're committing a crime?
what was the crime he was committing?
Was he allowed to be in the Capitol?
He wasn't. This wasn't in the Capitol. This is in.
Was he
front.
allowed to be past
If
the
you wa-
barriers on the
real
Capitol?
quick, if you watched Epoch News, obviously you didn't watch the whole documentary.
Yes, I did.
But there's
Jacob
things-
Lane.
there's
Let me
things
pull up
that-
Jacob Lane.
So there's things that we agree on. We've agreed on hemp before, and we've agreed on certain things. And you do try to do some research. Have you watched the Crooked Clinton documentary that was made from people that worked with the Clintons and for the government?
No.
If I were you, brother, I would really watch this, okay?
But do you
It's
understand?
called-
But
real
here's
quick,
the
real
problem.
quick. Let me give you the title.
ahead.
It's on YouTube. It's
What-
been on there for 10 years. It's made from people that worked with the Clintons and that worked with our government. They turned it into every Republican and Democrat. And it's all factual, truthful. That's why it's still
Well,
on
you
YouTube.
don't. First of all, you don't know if it's factual, or truthful, right? How do you know?
I did a lot of research on the documentary.
Let me tell you this. I haven't shared this before, but my uncle was in the Secret Service. My uncle worked in the Secret Service for the Clintons. I am under no illusion that the Clintons were not corrupt. I'm under no illusion that the Clintons didn't do corrupt things. I'm under no illusion that the Clintons didn't abuse their power, both as when Clinton was a governor and as president.
Okay, well,
I'm
listen
under
to this.
no illusion that Bill Clinton was a good person. I was
RTP.
not. I do not support Hillary Clinton. I do not support Bill Clinton.
Okay, well, real quick, that's dope to know, because then you should watch the documentary, because it said they were removing 100 pounds of white girl every month, like Tony Montana in Arkansas, for 10 years. Then they brought
Yeah,
their whole.
but where's the?
Real
But where's
quick,
the? But
they
how
had
do they
it all
back
in the
that up?
documentary.
Okay, I'll watch it. But if they don't back it up, then I'm gonna have a problem with it.
Okay,
That's the
so
problem.
it's
That
called.
was the problem with the Epic Times. Like the Epic Times, Epic News, they have been caught lying so many times. They alter video, they take out audio. They did the same shit that Tucker Carlson did. They select certain videos that they can cast doubt on, and they make it look like it's something else. But the thing about that
What
video,
about when that lady got
hold
beat?
on, the
What
thing about
about when
that
the lady
Epic,
got beat with
hold
the
on,
billy
hold
club?
on, hold on. The thing about that Epic Times video
Uh-huh.
that they put out is that it is directly contradicted by hundreds of people who pled guilty and admitted their crimes.
There's other
It's
reporters.
directly contradicted by all the evidence.
There's other reporters that are doing reports on the same thing that they did, and the same stuff is coming out.
Yeah, but these are all literally just accusations. They are not proven. None of it is proven.
There's
The
video
problem-
footage in
dude,
the eco.
you don't. The problem with your research is you only just you go down these conspiracy holes,
No.
and you never step out of it and say like, what's the actual story here?
RTP.
You're-
it
it's-
showed
they're
video
all
footage
narrative
of a
driven.
Police officer hitting that lady in the head over and over with a fucking a police fucking baton over and over and over in her head.
Yeah, and I also saw a police officer being beaten with Trump flags,
He
crying for
probably
his life.
He probably was.
And they hold on, and they only stopped when he begged them and said, "Please, I have children." They were you can hear it on the body cam
Yeah, but
footage.
nobody
They're
cared about
shouting,
anybody else.
"Kill
if they had
him."
kids. What
What's
about
that?
that girl, that lady that got? She shouldn't have got shot. There's
She
plenty-
absolutely should have been shot.
You're hilarious. Okay,
She was
so-
warned
so the
multiple
main
times.
police
She climbed.
officer in
Wait,
Epoch
hold on.
Times-
If somebody
RTP,
breaks
RTP, real quick,
into your
bro.
house,
So
if somebody
that's
breaks
your
into your
opinion.
house,
RTP.
if somebody
that is
breaks into your house and
opinion.
hold
That's important.
on,
Why can't I
dude,
finish, bro?
stop, dude. Nobody is going to care about this conversation if we can't talk we
No, I
can't talk at the same
understand.
time.
I
So
understand.
let me
but
ask you.
You're
Oh
telling
my
me
God,
that
you're
it
still
should-
doing it. You're still doing it. Stop, dude. Have a little impulse control. Let's talk about Ashley Babbitt. Was she breaking the law when she was shot?
along with 50 other people right around her.
Great. Was she given multiple warnings that if she climbed through that window, she would be shot?
I have no idea about that. I
Yes.
didn't see that dude say
multiple. The
warnings.
police officer was saying, "Do not climb through. I will shoot you.
Okay.
I will shoot you." And her friends are like, "No, go, go, go." There's a video that I saw today of the people yelling at the officer with the gun, and they're telling him, he's like, "I will shoot you." And they're like, "You're not going to do shit. You're a pussy. You're a traitor. You're a pussy. You won't shoot us." They
Did
were
you
all
see the
convinced.
videos of
They
them
were
trying
all
to push
convinced because they
Ashley
had gotten
Babbitt through
that
the window?
far. They were all convinced because they had gotten that far that nobody was going to shoot them.
I understand. And it's because
And then somebody got
It's
shot.
because they shouldn't have. Why did the head police officer that was in the Epoch Times documentary say over and over and over that he should be arrested? He's a murderer.
Who said that in the Epoch Times?
You didn't
the head
watch.
police
you
officer.
didn't watch it.
I don't remember a head police officer saying they should be. The guy that shot
He was-
Ashley Babbitt.
He was interviewed in it multiple times. RTP. So it's very easy to see if you did or if you didn't.
the guy that
Because you
shot
would've
Ashley
remembered-
Babbitt.
You would have remembered the head.
No, he was
cop
not
that
interviewed
in
for
the
that.
documentary, not the cop that shot her. Okay.
Well, then who
The
should be in
head
charge?
police officer that is in charge of a lot of like I said, why don't you know who was interviewed that was saying
I don't remember
he
that.
should
I don't
be
remember
in
that part of.
prison for
I don't
murder?
remember that part of it. I'm telling you, I don't remember that part of it. Can
I
you tell
wouldn't
me
want to
who it was?
remember that part either, when my point is that she should have been shot and
up.
killed, and the cops didn't do anything wrong.
What? Wait, wait a minute. Wait, you're talking about the guy that's just a cop that's just sharing his opinion. You're talking about the cop that was just sharing his opinion.
What was his level of being a police officer, RTP?
I don't know what his rank was. I have no idea.
Yeah, his rank
he
was
not
very,
the
very
he was not
high.
the
That's
captain
why
of
he was in
Capitol
the
Police.
documentary. It doesn't matter if you're
Yes,
a police
it does.
officer and you know what your oath is, and you know what, and you're high ranked. You know if they should have got away with it or not.
Well, listen.
But you still don't want to defend it. So
well,
anyway,
no, listen, he's wrong. And I've had multiple
know.
police hold on. I've had multiple police officers on this account
I know.
debating me
I've heard you.
that get the law wrong all the time. Police officers are not experts in the law.
I
They
know
are
you
not. They are not trained to be experts in the law. They are not meant to be the judiciary. I think I would take my opinion on the law, not as a trained lawyer, not as law enforcement, over virtually any law enforcement official I've ever met.
I know you would, because they got the job
But
to be the cop, and
no,
they know
because
the
they
shit
no,
better than
because
you
they
do. You
break
didn't
the
even
law
get a
all
job to
the
be a
time.
cop
They break
because
the
they know
law
what they
all the
can do and
time
what
and
they
cover.
can't.
Hold on, brother. If you're gonna, don't tell me why I believe something, please. Let me, if you make a claim of what I believe, let me explain. I believe that because I see the police break the law all the time. I think police's job, as they see it, is to go up to the line. They want to be as close to the line of what's legal and illegal as possible, and they want to catch bad guys. And so a lot of times, that's all they know. They know what they can do and what they can't do in order to investigate a crime.
So,
They know what they can and can't get away with.
so you categorize everybody with everybody. So a cop, if he's a cop, he's with. If he's mega, they're all racist. I got you.
I didn't
Now,
say that. I didn't
now
say
one
that. What are you
person
talking
can be
about?
good.
Wait.
There's
I don't
good
think
cops.
all
There's good
I don't
cops
think
and
all
there's
MAGA's
bad cops,
racist,
right?
and I don't think all cops are bad.
Well, you just said that.
No. I said no. I'm saying that's literally their job, dude. Like, talk to a police officer. They will all tell you the same thing. That is their job. Their job is to operate within the law, specifically investigators. Their job is to get as close to breaking the law without breaking it, so that they can get the most information that they possibly can.
Oh yeah,
There
I
are
know how they
reasons that we
work.
have laws for police officers,
I
and
know
their
how they
job
work.
is to make sure they don't step over that line.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You're right on that. I know how they work, but not
Okay,
all
then I
of
don't know
them.
what you're arguing then.
There's nerdy cops that are scared to get in gun battles that will show up late. Okay, not every police officer is the same.
I
There's
didn't say they're
police.
the same. I was talking about the system they operate in.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Every police officer does not operate in that system the same way you're trying to say they do.
Right, which goes to my point that you were saying, like, police officers are not experts in the law. I do not care about a police officer who wasn't there saying that they should be in jail for schmurder.
No, I know you don't.
Well,
Because
but
your point is
why
who
should I
should
care
have
about
been.
his opinion? Explain to me why his opinion matters.
It doesn't at all. Why was he in the documentary? Obviously, because his opinion mattered.
Because the Epic Times wants to put somebody with a badge there, because people like you will be like, well, he's got a badge, he must know what he's talking about, and then you'll come on and you'll
I mean, it's
defend
not that
and
hard
you'll
to pick.
defend wait and you'll defend the actions of insurrectionists based on what that guy said.
No, not at all.
They got exactly what they wanted out of him. You're here using him as an example.
Yeah, but see, the thing is if he was wrong, he was wrong. Not every police officer is right in the shootings that they do.
I didn't say that, brother. I said he's wrong.
And you said that he's right. So what I'm saying is not.
No, I said he's wrong.
You said he was wrong, and the police officer that shot her was right. So what I'm
Correct.
saying is a lot of people that do unalivings like that sometimes get convicted for wrongfully. Okay, so they're saying in this situation, that is one of those. Now, he has not been convicted for that, but they said he should.
Well, of course he's not going to be convicted, dude.
But
he
they
was
said
doing
he
his
should have
he
been.
was doing his job,
But that's your
and he
opinion,
gave her
RTP.
multiple warnings.
But
Of
that's your
course he's not going
opinion
to be
to somebody
convicted.
else's opinion. So we'll just leave it at that. Real
No,
quick, I
no,
want
no,
to tell
no.
you the
Wait, hold on.
documentary.
That's not. This
I
isn't a
want to
matter
tell
of
you the
opinion.
documentary real quick because I
Well,
got to get
no,
going.
I'm clearly like I watched that documentary maybe
Not the Epoch one, the
6
Clinton
months
one.
ago. Oh, what documentary then?
Man, the Epoch one just got made fucking free for everybody to watch not that long ago. So 6 months ago,
Yeah,
it
it's been
wasn't
at
even
least 6 months.
it wasn't
No,
even
it's definitely been at
available
least
then.
6 months.
Okay, so the crooked Clintons in the 1990s, Arkansas. You might want to jot this down because you can't find the YouTube if you don't have the exact title.
If we're being 100% honest here, I really don't give a shit about the Clintons. I'd rather focus on stuff that matters. If Hillary Clinton ran for president again, I would be interested in that. But she
Okay,
holds
but
no she
but
holds no
RTP,
title. I really
just
like
finish real quick. The
hold on.
documentary, bro.
No. I don't want to
brought
talk
their
about I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about like current events.
it shows
I
they brought
appreciate
their
that you went
power
down
to the
that.
White
And look,
House.
if you send it to me, if you DM me the link for it, when I have some time I'll watch it. But I don't want to waste the time here talking about it.
Okay, I just want to finish what I was saying because it's a really big point. Okay, so they said that they were trying to stop Clinton bringing his power to the White House in Arkansas. They could never do it. He brought his power to the White House. Then he tried to get Hillary Clinton to win against Trump. So their power still would have been in the White House after 35 years of Arkansas's unaliving, yayo, and all kinds of other stuff. And that's how powerful they are. So the reason why nobody's been in
So
trouble,
powerful that they lost?
so powerful that they're still able to
So
not get-
powerful that the
No, you
FBI a
didn't let me
week.
finish. Can
Hold
I
on.
finish?
Let me ask you. Let's go down this
No,
road
let me
then.
finish and then you can.
No,
So
thank
they're
you.
so
No, thank you.
powerful
No,
that
no,
they
no,
do
no,
not
no,
get in
no,
trouble
no,
for
no,
anything.
no.
You just said they're crooked.
I'm
going
going
to
to ask you questions about what
defending
you just said. This is not an opportunity for you to go on a long diatribe. I'm going to ask you questions. When you say the Clintons are so powerful, why did they lose?
They didn't cheat by enough.
Okay, why? If the Clintons were so powerful, why couldn't they stop the James Comey, who you guys all think is working for the left? Why couldn't they stop him from announcing an investigation into Hillary Clinton 1 week before the election?
Where
was that power?
What happened with the investigation?
Yeah, they investigated her, and it turned out she didn't commit a crime. Yeah, that's what happened.
See, the thing is
It was a dog shit investigation.
They
It's the
just
first
proved she did.
and by the way, wait, hold on. And by the way,
See, one
James
minute you say that-
and by the way, while I continue my sentence that you can't cut off in the middle, and by the way, James Comey was reprimanded by everybody because he went out of his way to do something that had never been done and that most believe he didn't have the authority to do by publicly announcing that investigation. He was in the wrong with announcing that investigation, and the investigation showed nothing, that she had committed no crime.
So we could tell that you're
So
biased.
where's all
right
this
now.
power?
Real quick, RTP, we could tell you're biased right now because you say that that the Clintons have been corrupt for a very long time.
Yes.
Now you're acting like where's their power?
Yeah,
Come on,
they
man.
lost their power, dude.
Come on, man.
Wait, hold on. Do you think you have
They
to have
lost
power
their
to be
power
cor-
because they went
Hold
against Trump.
No, they lost Hillary lost to Obama too. Remember that?
I wonder why.
Yeah, why?
Because nobody wanted a crooked fucking woman that was connected to the Clintons in president. They would rather have Obama.
Exactly. Their power didn't matter anymore.
Well, they still have power.
What
Maybe
power?
it didn't matter for them winning.
What power do they have?
Obviously, enough power to sell $100 million worth of yayo every month in fucking Arkansas and not get caught and still be in office.
Well, if that's true, that's I don't know if that's true or not. I'll look
Because you
into
won't
that.
go
You can
watch.
send me. You can send me
Talk
the
about
link.
rabbit holes. I watched a documentary in the '80s that I didn't even want to see. The motherfuckers. were
Brother,
ugly
do
and
you want to
everything.
talk? Okay, hold on. No, we don't get to switch now. Here's a real question for you: how many documentaries have you watched about the corruption of Donald Trump and his family?
Oh, I've watched a few.
Which ones?
I don't know what they were called, but I've watched a few.
What were the accusations?
Of his real estate, of his
What
scandals, of the
specifically? But
women.
you're very specific when it comes to Clinton. Specifically, what has he been
I
accused of
told you I don't have the title, so I'm specific because I have the title on this, and I just watched it recently, and I've been sharing it, and a lot more people have been seeing it. So
Like 5 minutes ago, you said I didn't watch a documentary because I couldn't remember a specific example, and now you're going to tell me that you've watched these documentaries, but you can't give me one
I
thing that
did
happened
give
in
you
any of
3
these
examples.
documentaries.
I gave you 3
Not one?
examples. I gave you 3 examples. You didn't hear one?
No.
One was his
Specific
real
examples.
estate fraud.
What
One
do you mean
was-
by real estate fraud?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Okay,
What do you mean?
scandals that he did with real estate.
What scandals?
Oh my fucking goodness. RTP, you just said I didn't give you an example, and I'm giving
These
you
aren't
3 different-
specific examples. These are just generic statements. These are not examples. I don't know if you know how examples work. Like, what specifically was he accused of with real estate fraud?
RTP.
Yes.
You don't understand that
No,
Trump.
no, no, no,
is
no, no. You're not
bringing
turning
down
this
the
on me. No, no, no.
corrupt government.
Here's what's happening. You're getting your pants pulled down right now, and
No, I'm
what you
not
should
getting
do,
my
what you
pants
should do
pulled
is
down.
be
You got
honest,
your
right?
pants
What
pulled
you
down
calm down,
multiple
calm
times.
down.
You
What you
defended the
should, what you
Clintons,
should.
but you before you said
Hey,
that they-
brother. What you should do right now is admit that you. What you should do right now is admit that you haven't watched any of them.
I have.
Okay, then give me one specific example that happened in any of them.
Oh my goodness, bro. You love to argue, and you
No,
love
I'm asking you a question.
and I gave you the answer that you
No, you
didn't
didn't. I asked you for a specific example, and you've yet to do that.
Okay, so I don't have a specific example, but I have watched documentaries where
So-
women try to, real quick, where women try to say they did things, where they try to say
Did
that
what?
The
Women
shit
try
he
to say
was
they did what?
exposed to. You want me to you want me to get your life taken down?
Sure.
Sexual accusations.
Which women? What
Just like a
what was
porn
he
star
accused
that
of?
named her cat Pussy
Yeah,
sued
what was he accused of?
her
Don't
cat.
switch this
Her
to E.
cat's
Jean Carroll
name
now.
is
No, 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 no,
Pussy.
no,
She
no, no,
sued
no,
her
no, no,
lady.
no, 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 no. This isn't an opportunity to smear victims. I'm going to ask you specifically what they accused him of in these documentaries.
Of sexual conduct, of rape and different things.
Who?
What do you mean who,
Who
bro?
accused him?
Bitches. Bitches.
This goes to show that you've been exposed today.
Oh,
You
I've
don't
been
know.
exposed. I
You
got my
don't know
pants pulled
anything
down.
about. You don't know
Bro,
anything.
you defend.
Shush,
You just said
shush.
the
All right,
Clintons
now
were
I have to
guilty.
mute you because you can't just keep talking while I'm talking. You just, in detail, were able to tell me about the Epic Times, about a documentary from the 80s, about a documentary about the Clintons, and you can tell me all these specific things, and you want to give me all this stuff that you want me to go and research, but when it comes time, and I just asked you a simple question, have you done the same type of research on Trump? And you said yes, and I ask you for one specific example, and you can't give me one. You just keep saying generic things like assault, real estate fraud. Like, what are you talking about? Who specifically? What crime specifically? You should be able to answer that question if you really have watched these documentaries.
Okay, so bro, real quick.
No, I need you to answer that question before you do real quick and change the subject.
No, I'm answering the question, but you can't cut me off every time I try to answer the question. And just because you don't like the answer,
Just answer the question, dude. Stop monologuing, please.
I don't know the exact woman's name that said the things. I do not know the exact companies or the real estate.
What did they say he did?
I said it already.
What? What are the details of the accusation?
Oh my! What are the details of the Bill Clinton accusation? I mean, bro, I did not
Which
give
one?
you.
Which
real
accusation?
quick, I did not give you in the documentary all these multiple details of anything.
Yeah, you did.
I said 3 different fucking points.
Yeah, no, you actually specifically gave me a number on Yayo. You specifically
3 different points.
Yeah, so what's just one specific example you can tell me about from the Trump documentaries you watched?
Anyway, you pull down my pants and spank me, RTP. Is that what you want to laugh and jump up and down for joy?
No, I want you to be honest.
Bounce your pom-poms like a cheerleader?
No, I want you to be honest. And right now what you're doing is obfuscating.
What I'm being, I am honest. And you want to try to prove me wrong by saying that I can't say any companies that Trump did that.
You can't tell me what, you can't tell me what crime he committed.
Okay, see, the thing is I watched them, and you want to try to prove me and say that I didn't. And then go ahead.
You should be able to name one thing you saw in them. I named one thing I saw in the Epic Times video.
Whitewater?
Yeah, what was Whitewater? That's
I know
all about Whitewater. It was a land deal It was a land deal in Arkansas where President Clinton used his authority as governor of the state to allow him to try to acquire land at a discounted rate without any competition. I know all about Whitewater. In fact, Whitewater is the reason that he was being investigated in the first place. Republicans brought up Whitewater, and they couldn't even find any real crimes with Whitewater, and so instead they impeached him for lying about getting a blowjob. You see how specific that with Monica Lewinsky. After he was ratted out by multiple women. After multiple women came forward and accused him of forcing themselves on him. I know a lot of details about that. Now, can you give me one detail about the Trump documentary that you saw?
Man, RTP, I just gave you 3. Why do you want to keep wasting your time going back and forth?
You have not given me one.
So real estate, since he's a big real estate person, and real estate crime isn't one.
Real estate crime is the most generic possible thing you could say. There are a million things you could do. So what real estate crime? You don't get charged for real estate crime. You would get charged for something specific.
Okay,
so
anyway, RTP,
what were the accusations?
I told you when I first
what were the accusations? I'm not going to let. No. You don't get to monologue when you won't answer my questions.
See, that's what happens, bro. We were talking about multiple different things, then you get stuck on one.
And you won't give me anything specific.
No,
Stop
you get
trying
stuck
to flip
on
this.
one topic.
Shushies.
Why can't I fucking respond?
The one topic that you won't be honest about right now. You won't be honest.
How am I not being honest?
Because you haven't watched a single one of these documentaries. You go after like.
See, you can't accuse me of watching something that I've watched, and you can't.
Well, then explain one thing that happened in it. Then just tell me one thing that happened in it.
I did.
What?
multiple women accused him of different accusations in multiple different documentations.
What was one specific accusation?
I mean, so do you want me to remember the woman's name also?
I want you to remember one specific accusation. If you don't know the woman's name, that's fine.
Why do I got to remember one when I remember like 10 different ones?
Well, you don't. Well, then name all 10.
I don't fucking all 10.
Well, you said, why should I name one when I have 10? Then give me 10. But I'm only asking for one. I thought I was being very fair just saying one.
So you want me to give you a scenario?
Good Lord, dude. Stop repeating my questions over and over. Just give me one. And Google it, dude. You save your own ass here. Google it.
Man, why do you want to do this so bad over this?
You came onto my live. I didn't invite you.
Telling you about a documentary.
You came onto my live. I did not invite you. No, dude, you don't have an answer. This is embarrassing. You should be so embarrassed right now.
I'm not embarrassed.
And you're not man enough to admit that you lied earlier. You're not man enough to admit that you lied earlier.
You lied about watching Epoch Times when you didn't.
Yeah, well, then how did I give you an example?
Because you didn't even know a head cop was in there saying that the cops should be going.
You said it was the head cop. No, you said it was the head cop, and I'm like, no.
Okay, so when I go watch the Epoch Times,
hold on, shut up,
dude.
Dude. When I'm talking, be quiet. You said they had the head cop, and I said, wait, the head officer of the Capitol Police was not interviewed. And you said, oh, no, it was a different cop. I was right. When you brought up that example, I was right. Capitol Police was not interviewed for that.
I never said he was.
I know, that's why, but that's what.
So
when you said the head cop, I knew, but I knew that the leader of the Capitol Police was not interviewed. How did I know? How did I know that the leader of Capitol Police was not interviewed if I didn't watch the documentary? How was I so sure?
RTP, you assumed that the head dude wasn't fucking interviewed when I said he wasn't. Smart guy. I said that the Capitol Police officer wasn't interviewed. You took the words out of my mouth.
I know. And then I said, well, then, yeah, of course I remember that guy. It didn't matter. What he has to say has no bearing.
Like
he's just a police officer. He's just a random police officer.
Your own live.
Dude, he's a random police officer. Shut up. Dude, when I'm talking, stop talking.
When are you going to let somebody talk for a second?
I just let you.
Them off? No, you didn't.
I just let you.
5 fucking words.
Yeah, and I'm disagreeing with your 5 words. I don't care what a random police officer says about what happened. Middle of my sentence, dog. Middle of my sentence, dog. Listen, this is why this doesn't go anywhere, because you cut me off in the middle of sentences and you won't listen to the end. I don't care, and nobody else should care about what a random police officer who wasn't there and doesn't prosecute cases says about what the outcome should be. Why should I care that that guy said that? He has no authority. He has no expertise. He is just a random person. But you believe him because he has a cop and he has a badge and a gun, and he says what you want him to say.
No, that's not true in my opinion.
Then why do you believe him?
Because he has the credentials to say.
That's what I just said. Badge and a gun.
Okay, there's levels to the badge and the gun.
Was he there?
There's levels to the badge and the gun, and he saw exactly what happened in the video.
Okay, was he there?
Nobody's there. The judge isn't there when shit happens, but they go by the.
That wasn't my question. That wasn't my question. My question was he there?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, does he know how Capitol Police are organized? Does he know the communication that was going on?
He watched what happened.
I don't care if he watched. So did I. So did I. We all watched what happened. Nobody's asking that. The question is, why do you believe? No, hold on. The question is, why does his opinion matter?
Well, obviously, when you have high credentials, and
he doesn't have high credentials prosecuting crimes. He has 0 credentials prosecuting crimes.
I never said he had high credentials prosecuting crimes.
Well, that's what he's talking about. He said the person should be prosecuted and charged with murder, but he doesn't charge people. He's not. He doesn't charge people. He has no experience charging or prosecuting somebody. So why should his opinion matter?
Can I answer it without you interrupting me?
Please.
Because every time I say 5 words...
Shut up and answer it. Stop whining.
You're such a bitch. Full later, dog. Why don't you go watch the documentary and get fucking...
Why don't you go watch the documentary?
7 years younger than me and you think you're fucking tight. You ain't shit.
Well, I'm smarter than you.
You think you are.
I'm substantially smarter than you.
You think you are.
Yeah, but so does everybody else.
Yeah, just like you think you're smarter than
Just
me.
like you think.
That's why you watch the documentary, right?
That's why you watch the documentary.
Bro, you're not funny making fun of somebody. You're
no, it's kinda funny.
immature
Yeah, that's
little
true.
girl that sits
I'm not a
on
girl,
live,
but I am immature.
that sits on live that talks about Donald Trump all day. And you're gonna get
Yep.
you're gonna find out that all the Trump supporters were
There we go.
right and you guys were wrong the whole
Sure.
fucking time.
Yeah, you guys have been really
Just like
proving
one
a
of
lot
my
of stuff.
friends
You've
that
been
wanted-
proving a lot
It's
of
like one
stuff.
of my friends that wanted to fight me. She's
don't
gonna
have
do
friends.
a video with me.
You don't have friends, you liar.
I got so many friends that ain't funny.
Yeah,
bro.
you do. That's why
You're
you're
the
on
one that
my.
don't
That's
have
why you're
friends.
on
That's
my
why you
live
go
yelling at
live
me all the
every day.
time. You and all your friends.
That's why you go like watch when I make a video with my homegirl that says she wanted to beat me up because she thought I was racist for voting for Trump, and she said that the government fooled us all. And guess what? She voted for Trump, and all you haters can
Cool.
suck a dick. That's what my homegirl's doing. Watch,
Awesome.
watch, fool. 'Cause
Awesome,
all you
dude.
guys
That
is-
proved a
All
lot.
you guys
That-
is racist.
There we go.
Racist.
There we
Joe
go.
Biden sniffing, loving children.
There we
Sniffers.
go. Let it all out, pal. Let it all out. Let the anger flow through you. You couldn't give me a single example, and now you're just going to go on a rant of all the
That's
memes
what
that
it
you
is.
saw
I
on
couldn't give
Facebook
you a
yesterday.
single example.
Here's a
Every time
list of
tried
things
to,
I
you
saw
cut
on
me off.
Facebook yesterday that you guys aren't upset about. Got it. Keep going, pal. You're doing great.
The whole cabal's going down. You saw what Cal.
That's
Williams
right.
did?
Take down the cabal, the whole thing. Release the Kraken.
Hey, real
Release
quick,
it.
real quick. You're smarter than Cal Williams too, right?
On politics, yeah, way smarter.
You know what his IQ is?
No, do you?
160. He just
How
said.
do you know that?
He just said it.
Okay.
Go do some research on it. Go do some research after
He said it, guys. He said it.
Go do some research on it.
I just watched that Cat Williams interview. It was fascinating. I like Cat Williams.
Yeah, what did he say?
He's wrong. He's wrong a lot, though.
No, you think he's wrong.
No, you just think he's right because he said something you like.
No, because he said what people have been saying
Yes!
forever. He's been saying what people's been saying forever. And did you hear Eddie
I
Griffin's
don't
last?
care what he's been saying. That doesn't make him right, you potato.
So Chris Tucker wasn't on the island?
I don't know. Was he?
Exactly. You don't know. You don't
Well,
know how.
I don't
much shit
care
he
about
said, if
that.
it's true or
Why
not.
would I know that?
So that's the thing. You just said you know more than he does. You're smarter
About
than he
politics. About politics, I
is. You
said.
think you are.
He knows a lot more about the inner workings of Hollywood than I do. I
So
know
you
a
don't
lot
think he
more
knows
about
the inner
politics.
workings-
I
you don't
know
think
a
he knows
lot
the
more
inner
about
workings of Hollywood?
politics than he does. And I know
No.
that I know a lot more than he does because I've heard him be wrong so many times.
Dude, that's what I've come to find out, bro. You're a rocket scientist. You're smarter than everybody.
No,
and
I'm
you
very
know it all.
I'm not good at rocket science. That's not a
And you
strength
know
of
it
mine.
all. Your common knowledge
No,
is to
I
the
know a
top.
lot about politics, substantially more than you, and
Then
substantially
go
more
find
than
out
Cat
about
Williams.
how corrupt the Clintons been for the last 40 fucking years.
Yeah, just rage on, my friend. Rage on. Do you just wake up screaming, or how does your morning start?
I wasn't screaming when I first started talking to you. You made fun of me multiple times. You
Well, it's
you
'cause-
pushed the
yeah,
button.
because
You
you were
pushed the
lying.
buttons.
Yeah, because
You
you were
pushed the
lying.
buttons.
I
wasn't
know.
trying.
I know, sweetheart. I know.
I mean, it's not. I could be your sweetheart if you want.
Pass. You're too angry for me.
You just called me
You're
sweetheart.
you're too
One
emotional.
minute you call me sweetheart, and then you pass on your own fucking
Well,
suggestion.
yeah.
Anyway, have a great day, RTP. Have fun
Thanks,
with your
buddy.
Trump supporters.
Thanks, buddy. Love you.
You're welcome. Much love, dog. United we stand, divided we fall.
Well, okay, yeah. Good catchphrase at the end there. Appreciate it. Let's see. What in the actual shit was that? Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice to be back. Yeah. That's the amazing thing about a lot of these MAGA folks is they will spend their entire life chasing conspiracy theories and think that they're the smartest person in the room. And meanwhile, they have no idea of what's happening around them. It's a fun thing. Somewhere along the line, they've been convinced that their research online is better than our intelligence agencies, and that everybody's just ignoring this obvious research that you can find online. Like, in order to believe like a MAGA, you literally have to believe that everybody is conspiring against just Donald Trump, just him, and that there's like this conspiracy against Donald Trump that was hatched years and years ago, and that everybody's just against Donald Trump. That's a bizarre way to live life. That would be a very sad way to live life, in my opinion. Let's get back to the stories. Good potato farming this morning, by the way, to those in the chat. I appreciate that. Let's leave the Epstein stuff. I think we've covered that. Other than Alex Jones and Tim Pool both said that Trump needs to be investigated, which was a move. Alex Jones was shocked. This goes to show that Alex Jones, I do believe Alex Jones is a true believer in what he says. He might say some crazy things that are wrong, but I do think he really, really believes it. Let's go down here. There's an Axios article about the GOP. There's 12, I think there's 12 retirements, both in the GOP and in the Democrat Party from Congress this year. Many of them citing the fact that they can't get anything done, that it's so gridlocked that they feel like they're wasting their time. That's a pretty sad thing, to have this many people stepping away either in the middle of their term or saying like, I'm not going to run again, and all of them just acknowledging that the reason is because it's disgusting. They were there to legislate, they were there to pass laws, and it's just temper tantrum after temper tantrum after temper tantrum. So Congress, unfortunately, is turning into a place where you don't show up to legislate, you don't show up to get things done, you show up to get clips, you show up to get your C-SPAN clip picked up by Fox or CNN or MSNBC, and then you get to go on a press parade and talk about how outraged you are while you get nothing done. Let's get down here. All right, now here is something that well, let's talk about this one, so I'm not accused of being biased. RTP is about access to the power. Trump is shutting him out. Shutting who out? Trump's shutting who out? I'm not sure what you mean there. There was a filing in a case for Nathan Wade. Who is the Michael Roman? He's a former Trump campaign official. His charges, I believe, have to do with just organizing in Georgia. He is being prosecuted by Nathan Wade. Nathan Wade is a private attorney who Fani Willis hired, and the state of Georgia hired to prosecute some of these cases. In a filing that I believe came out yesterday, his attorneys are claiming that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade had an improper relationship, and that he has taken Fani Willis on multiple vacations after being paid $654,000 for his services. If you can find the indictment. This is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. If you guys want to check this out, they are now saying that, and this is a weird case. They're basically saying that because of this improper relationship, which in all fairness, I've tried to find both sides of this argument, and I don't think anybody really knows for sure if what Fani Willis did here was against the law. There seems to be a lot of ambiguity there. Because Nathan Wade is credentialed. He's a high-powered attorney. He's a good attorney. He's somebody that would have been likely considered anyways. The most I can find is that this could add some like a cloud saying that Willis would be conflicted in the investigation and prosecution, and that her independent professional judgment might be clouded because of this relationship. It's an interesting story. I can't imagine that the judge throws this case out, though. I don't know that there is enough there to say that this means anything other than two people who are working together are also sleeping together. That happens. Yeah, the optic of impropriety. Good point, Drain Wake. I agree with that. It doesn't look good. It looks bad for Fani Willis. She shouldn't have done it. But I'm not sure if there's going to be any real legal implications here. But perhaps Roman will not be allowed to prosecute this case. Perhaps they'll bring a new prosecutor. I just doubt it. I don't really know. First of all, we haven't confirmed that there is a relationship between the two. We haven't confirmed any of the vacations that they went on together, and they say that it says the open records request. This is in the motion to dismiss and disqualify. Open records request to Fulton County revealed that the district attorney did not obtain county approval to appoint the special prosecutor. The special prosecutor has admitted his oath was not filed prior to his work on this case. The I got cotton mouth, so I can't say special. The special prosecutor is seeking a divorce in Cobb County and sought successfully to seal those records, hiding them from public view. They've asked for Nathan Wade is currently in a divorce or going through a divorce, and he had those records sealed, and I think that's fair. I don't think that there's any reason why the public should have access to your divorce records. I don't know why they would need access to that. I don't know why that would come up in this case, unless they're alleging that the reason for the divorce was some sort of impropriety from Fani Willis, in which case then I guess you could open them up. While the filings in the divorce case are sealed by the court, information obtained outside of court filings indicates that the district attorney and special prosecutor have traveled personally together to places such as Napa Valley, Florida, and the Caribbean, and the special prosecutor has purchased tickets for both of them to travel on both the Norwegian and Royal Caribbean cruise lines. This was confirmed from people that know both Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. So it's been confirmed by other people. I guess not confirmed, but that's where the accusation comes from. They've been seen in private together in and about Atlanta. I guess that's mostly it. But here's why they say it's important when you go through the motion to dismiss and qualify. The district attorney's failure to obtain the required approval to appoint the special prosecutor prior to him obtaining indictments against Mr. Roman renders the special prosecutor's service in that role a nullity and without effect under Georgia's law. I've seen that is absolutely going to be argued, and I don't think they have a good case there. In light of the district attorney's personal relationship to the special prosecutor prior to his appointment as the special prosecutor, his appointment created an impermissible and irreparable conflict of interest under Georgia's rules of professional conduct, which requires the disqualification of both lawyers and their respective offices and firms. So that's what they're claiming. We'll see what happens. I imagine the judge will rule quickly on there, but we didn't want to be seen like we're not covering big stories. It's not surprising that story came out on the same day as Trump and Epstein. They seem to always come out together. But there's that. Does anybody have any? I'm reading the comments here for a second. Trump's former Secretary of Defense warns he's a threat to democracy, not fit for office. True, he did say that. That did happen. What are we at? We're at 10:40. All right, let me pull up the Trump stuff. This should not be a surprise to anybody, and it should not be. It will quickly become something that Republicans defend. But here's Trump talking about his hopes for the economy.
I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months, because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. The one president, I just don't want to be Herbert Hoover. When there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months. So
Trump indicating that there will be a crash, and he really, really hopes that it comes now, because he doesn't want to go into a place and he doesn't want to go into office and have to fix things. He doesn't want anything to ever look like it's his fault. And then here we have, after this quote, you have Laura Ingraham essentially saying the exact same thing about the border. Now remember, Republicans are consistently saying that the border is a problem, it's Biden's fault, and they want to fix it. And Biden has tried to negotiate with Republicans. Why? Sorry, I just saw why is the guest hosting today? Shut up. That's why. Here's Laura Ingraham talking, just being honest about how Republicans view this border crisis. We talked about it yesterday. It's an opportunity for them.
So this is a hot potato that McConnell has tossed to Langford, and that he should toss it right back. Let McConnell negotiate it. Think of it this way. Why on earth, after the Democrats did everything in their power to flood America with millions of indigents from across the globe, would Republicans ever give Biden a...
Let's be clear on that. Democrats did everything in their power to flood the border with indigents. If somebody could remind me in the chat who it was that destabilized the entire national economy of Venezuela and Cuba? Was that Democrats or was that Republicans? The answer is Republicans.
An opportunity to take a victory lap and then pretend that he's done anything to solve this problem. And by the way, if House Republicans do the smart thing and say no to this raw deal, Speaker shouldn't even consider it. Should say out of hand he's rejecting it. The Biden campaign is going to hit the airwaves with the message. You probably already made the commercials. See, the border's their fault. Bottom line, you can't. So this is a hot potato that McConnell.
Yeah, it is your fault, Republicans. This border crisis is almost entirely your fault. You destabilized Venezuela. You destabilized Cuba. This all started under Trump. If we remember, you can look at the amount of people coming to the southern border starting in 2019. This started under Trump, and then they have done nothing. They refuse to work with Democrats on a solution. Now, where you can be critical of the Democrats is, and I am critical, I do think that they waited too long. I think that for 4 years with Donald Trump, we talked about how ineffective a wall would be when we didn't have a crisis at the border, and they kept manufacturing crises. We didn't take them seriously, and I do think Republicans were slow to take the border seriously, and we do need to do something about the crisis at our southern border. But Republicans do not fucking care. Laura Ingraham does not fucking care. None of them care. They just want to be able to campaign on this, and probably because they've got Donald Trump as a candidate, and there's nothing else you can campaign on. And you want to take away, like, if you can convince the people that despite Donald Trump being a massive piece of shit and an obvious criminal, a chronic liar, and by the way, losing his mental faculties more and more by the day, you can't convince him that this is the right guy for everything, but you can just go back and be like, well, for 2 years, the border stayed exactly the same as it was when he took office from Obama, which, by the way, Obama had basically the same numbers at the border as Trump. That's your only argument. And Republicans are desperate to keep this crisis going. It's the only thing the Free Dumb Caucus is even talking about now. That's their one thing. Hi, Jen. What did I do?
Besides not responding to any messages,
Shit, I'm all alone today.
I know you're. Forgive Jay, he's unsupervised, and as much as I'm trying to supervise, I can't really do much if he doesn't read the messages.
True. What did we want to do?
So yeah. At least text any of them, the multiple ways I've tried to message you or reach you. Respond to like one. That'd be awesome.
Okay, is that what you need?
That's it. That's all.
Okay, but I don't see it. Wait, I don't see anything.
Check your text. Check the DM between you and I.
Oh, it says, I'll tell you, it just says, are your Discord DMs open? That's all it says.
When you wanted to have, when Trump was live, you asked for the link to that, and I sent you that, and then you went on this squirrel hyper focus to something shiny.
I honestly didn't get the link. Where did you send it?
Okay. Well, now that you can see the message, I'll let you get back to it.
I can see it. There's no link. The link didn't come through. I promise.
All right. Whatever.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Jen.
I see it on my side, but it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
See ya. Nobody should envy Jen's job. She's got a tough job. But maybe I don't know, maybe my internet's not working very well because I don't have any message. I think we missed it. Get it together. I'm not going to get it together. You guys know that. Royal McKinney, I'm just taking opposition right now. I'm not sure if you are opposition or not. No, Jen is not my wife. Jen would never be that stupid. She's not that dumb. Jen enjoys her life and enjoys being sane. She has to deal with me enough. So she's not dumb. Don't, if any of you think you should be my wife, I would advise against it. I don't think it's a good move for any of you. Let me jump back to this. All right. By the way, again, if you are opposition and you're here, if you're some Trump folks, I would love to talk to you instead of read stories all day. Just wanted to say Miss Jen. Oh, okay. Well, there you go, Royal. Just wanted to say Miss. Hey, we hit our subscription goal. Thank you guys, by the way, for subscribing. That does that helps a lot. Jen does Does a lot of charity work. What about husband? As of now, I am still straight. Unfortunately, I'm finding out. I was with my brothers this weekend, and like everybody they know, like all of Gen Z is just bi. So I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's all repressed. Maybe someday I can find a way. But as of now, I'm still very, very straight. So I don't know if you guys have any suggestion. If you have any suggestions of maybe unlocking some curiosity within myself, let me know. I'll take it into consideration. But unfortunately, right now, still straight, which is bad news for me because I feel like men would be more accepting of my obvious weaknesses. I do think that because my friends are nice to me, and they know that I'm an idiot. So I do feel like I would maybe just try it. I would maybe do better with men, but unfortunately, and maybe that's why the one and only was up here earlier. Maybe that's what he was here for. Maybe that's why he's so upset. Maybe he thought we had a connection, and I was mean to him. And by the way, I'm really not trying to make light of anybody's sexuality. I'm really not. I'm just telling you I'm straight. So I apologize if that's offensive to anybody. Let's now go to where was it? The Devon Archer testimony. We now have James Comer. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Saying that the most damning evidence that they have comes from the Devon Archer testimony. I just wanted to read a couple pieces of the Devon Archer testimony. This is on page, if you guys have it, this is on page 104. This is a question from the attorneys here. Does anything in asking Devon Archer, again, Devon Archer was the business partner of Hunter Biden, worked with him both at Burisma and then privately. Does anything in your knowledge or experience contradict the conclusion that there was no corruption, wrongdoing, or impropriety on the part of Vice President Biden? Answer, I have no basis to know. The report also found, Goldman steps in. Goldman says, I'm sorry, you have no basis to know, or is that as a no? Archer says, I would have no idea. Goldman says, no basis. Are you aware of any wrongdoing by President Biden? Archer said, no, I'm not aware of any. So they clarified that. I am not aware of any wrongdoing by Biden. So based on your knowledge and experience, you have no evidence that would contradict any of these conclusions I just read. Archer, no. The report also found no evidence that any action of the United States government or any U.S. official was taken to benefit Burisma or Hunter Biden. Do you have any evidence or knowledge that contradicts this conclusion? Archer, no. So based on everything you saw, heard, and observed, just like literally all of your knowledge, anything you saw, anything you heard, anything you observed, did you have any knowledge of Joe Biden having any involvement with Burisma? No. Not direct, no. Question, no involvement of Joe? No. Question, Biden with Burisma? No. My only thought is that I think Burisma would have gone out of business if they didn't have the brand attached to it. That's my only honest opinion. His only opinion there is that Burisma liked having the Biden name, but that there was no evidence that Joe Biden was involved in any sort of impropriety there. Now let me get down further here. That's actually the whole. Actually, that was the only one I actually clipped there. Archer said, let me get through here. Where did this go? Sorry, guys. Okay, so Archer was shown a document from the laptop, Hunter's laptop, showing that when Burisma was under investigation by Ukrainian authorities, an executive asked them to get DC help. This is one of the damning things. This is one of the things that if you follow Marjorie Taylor Greene or any of the Free Dumb Caucus, they've talked about this DC help. And they say that this means Joe Biden. And that's a fair assumption. I honestly think that's a fair assumption. When you're talking about the president's son and you're saying DC help, or the vice president's son at the time, you're saying DC help, I think it's fair to assume that what they meant was help from Joe Biden. However, this was a passage House Republicans claimed reference to Joe, and Archer said what was meant by that was for him and them to retain a lobbying firm in DC, which they did. So after the Ukrainian authorities were asked them to get help from DC, Archer says this meant they wanted to get a lobbying firm, and shortly after this request from Ukrainian authorities, they hired a lobbying firm. So, again, the damning evidence from Devon Archer is directly conflicting literally every claim they have that Joe Biden knew anything about this. There was a phone call referenced on the laptop, allegedly between Burisma executive was present. When asked about it, Archer said the executive told him that was a call, but he had no first-hand knowledge if it actually took place, and he was not present. So there's an alleged call between Hunter and Joe, and what Archer's saying is, yes, somebody told me that. I have no idea if that's true. He testified that in the 10 years he knew Hunter Biden, that Hunter spoke to his father every single day. Each person would call each other. When asked what the conversations were about, he said weather, fishing, describing the city they were in, the places they went to. He said business was never discussed. Never discussed. His business partner, who provides the most damning evidence, said business was never discussed. He said Hunter put his father on speakerphone during dinners they were having with clients. He said this happened on about 20 occasions over 10 years, and business was never discussed. Only pleasantries. Remember these phone calls that we talked about over dinner? Remember when David would show up every day and say, oh, what about these phone calls? What do you think they were talking about? Well, the person there says it was pleasantries, never business. Archer said once they were in China meeting with a client. Hunter put Joe on speaker again. Again, no business was discussed. This was their accusation, that there was a phone call with a client in China and that they got Joe on the phone to talk business. Well, again, business was not discussed. When asked if he ever met Joe Biden, he said he once got a guest White House tour with his son where he spoke to the vice president about his second grade paper mache project, which is devastating to the case. Paper mache, I was not aware that they were doing paper mache. Now Hunter Biden is absolutely guilty. Again, this is Hunter Biden's closest business associate, the one providing damning evidence. He's met Joe Biden one time, and it was on a White House tour where they talked about a paper mache project. Archer said at no time did Joe Biden communicate in any way with Burisma board members during their meetings. He said Joe Biden never had any involvement with Burisma in any way. Archer said Burisma executives were constantly pushing Hunter to use his connections in D.C. to help them out. Hunter told Archer that there was really nothing that he could do, but he wanted to bluff the Burisma executives into thinking he could help them. Again, Hunter Biden pretending he had influence and telling his business partner, hey, dude, we don't really have this. Like, just so you know, when we go to these meetings, I'm going to pretend like we have influence, but obviously we don't really have any influence. When asked what they did to help Burisma in D.C., Hunter said they hired a group of government affairs and lobbying experts. Archer testified that he had no basis to believe that Joe Biden ever altered any U.S. foreign policy to benefit his son or business partners. And as far as he knows, no policy was ever changed to their benefit. None. No policy was ever changed to their benefit. Again, quick reminder, this is the person Republicans say, this is the smoking gun, this is the damning evidence, and this is him repeatedly, over and over, exonerating Joe Biden. Archer testified that he was not aware of any money that was ever paid to Joe Biden, but they're running a business together. Not aware of any money ever paid to Joe Biden. He said Burisma executives liked to brag and make wild claims that they had access when they didn't, and it was just them bluffing to their associates. Archer said that Hunter falsely created the impression to Burisma executives that he had influence over his father, which they both knew was a lie. He said that when Joe Biden would make policy statements about the need for Ukraine to achieve energy independence, Hunter would falsely claim credit for it to Burisma executives when in fact he had nothing to do with it. Archer summarized this by saying Hunter was selling, and this is in quotes, the illusion of access when in fact he had none except for a father-son relationship. The full transcript is available. You can find it at MeidasTouch.com/news, Devon Archer transcript released, or you can just search Meidas Touch, and they will have the full transcript from Scribd. It's actually fascinating. It really goes to show when asked these questions, what in the hell is that? A piece of plastic came off of my cup. When asked virtually all these questions, not once did they get any damning information. And by the way, this was behind closed doors. Going into this, they did not provide the Democrats with the information that they had. They got a 267. Democrats got a 267-page document the night before they were to depose Mr. Archer, and yet, even with the Republicans running cover and not giving them any information to prepare, they still were able to go through this deposition and show time and time again that there is not an ounce of impropriety that you can attach to Joe Biden. The more that comes out about this, the more I think that this is going to be devastating for Republicans. This is going to hurt you. Much like when they tried to impeach Clinton over the blowjob, Clinton had low approval ratings at the time, and by the time it came around to election time, it backfired, and Clinton wound up winning re-election. This is very, very similar, which is I guess terrific if you're a Joe Biden fan, or if you're a fan of truth. Devastating if you're a Trump fan. All right, so here, this was from, now let's go to a person who definitely does commit crimes repeatedly. We'll go on to Donald Trump. I won't cover that. You guys may know the Trump's election interference case, the judge was targeted with a swatting call. This is getting crazy with the swatting. Like, it's not even a partisan thing. People are just doing it over and over. It's actually kind of insane. And unfortunately, it's going to make people less safe. It's going to divert police resources to places where they don't need to be. It's making, don't swat people. Don't call and swat people. I talked to HVAC this morning. There were rumors that somebody had doxed him. Don't do that. That's not cool. I'm not a fan of that. Don't waste the police time with this shit. Let's see. Where was this Nikki Haley part? All right, so this is Nikki Haley, who is, God bless her, she was doing so well, and now people are finding out that all you have to do is ask Nikki Haley questions, and she will either lie or say absolutely the wrong thing. So this is from her town hall in Iowa. This is Bret Baier, and who else is there? I don't know who else is there. This is Bret Baier asking the question, but he's asking about the retirement age for Medicare, which, of course, Republicans want to raise. They think it's too low. And here's Nikki Haley not telling the truth and then just being slapped in the face with the truth.
So, Governor DeSantis is hitting you for claiming the retirement age is, quote, way, way too low. He said, quote, I don't know why she's saying that. So are you saying that? Where do you stand?
I have never once said that.
Well, wait.
Okay. So DeSantis says retirement age is too low. Good move by DeSantis, especially coming from Florida. He knows that people rely on Social Security, Medicare. And her claim is, I have never once said that. And Bret Baier is going to fact check her in real time.
In Bloomberg interview, you said anyone who says they'll leave America bankrupt, Social Security will go bankrupt, Medicare will, so we don't touch anyone's retirement. But go to people like my kids in their 20s and tell them the rules haven't changed. Change the retirement age to reflect life expectancy.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah. I never once said we should raise the age. And then here's a quote from you saying you should raise the age. And when they say like it should match life expectancy, it's because the retirement age, life expectancy was lower before and now it's higher. So she's saying we should raise the age for benefits. So 100% lying. Nikki Haley is really, really struggling. I don't know if she just like doesn't remember what she said, or if she's just like everybody else, just a big liar. But that was a tough break for her. Here is Troy Nehls. Do we have a clip of this? Let me make sure. I don't think. All right. So Congressman Troy Nehls, I believe Texas maybe. He tweeted out that today the dishonest view said I was holding a gun on January 6th. This is a false statement and made with reckless disregard for the truth. I look forward to a public apology from Ms. Navarro and speaking with their attorneys. He's right. He was not holding a gun. But there's a video, and I can drop this in the Discord from Twitter. But there's a video of him standing right next to the Capitol Police officer who is holding a gun, and he is saying to the insurrectionists that are there, just obviously on their Capitol tour. He's telling them that he's ashamed that they're part of his party. They should be ashamed. They aren't doing the right thing. Like, they broke into the Capitol. They should leave. They should be ashamed. And now this guy is one of the people saying that January 6th, it was no big deal. It wasn't, nobody needs to be prosecuted for it. Let me drop that in the Discord real quick. Unless Jen is. Jen, do you want to drop that, actually? I'll just tell you what number it is. I forgot Jen has access to this. Jen, that was number 27. How do you join the Discord? Good question. You can send me a DM or Jen a DM, and we will send you a link to Discord. The invitation in my bio is dead. In my link tree, and that's on purpose. We try really hard to have Discord be a place full of people who want to be there and not people who just want to troll. So there is a verification process too. When you get the link from us, click on that. We'll ask you to send just a screenshot of your TikTok profile and just answer a couple of questions, then you can be in. But Discord's awesome. It's well, I think it's awesome. Mostly it's making fun of me and telling me how much better Felice is than me, which is, it's nice. It keeps my ego in check. Here is Clay Higgins. Continuing. Clay Higgins, by the way, the guy that gave us so much hope earlier when he said that he has nothing to campaign on. He seems to have found something to campaign on here. And he went on the Tucker. By the way, I did not know this. Did you guys know that Tucker Carlson's show is called the Tucker Carlson Encounter? Have you ever used the word encounter in a good way? Encounter is never good. You don't encounter something that you really, really like. It is a bizarre name. I think he was trying like the Joe Rogan Experience, and then he just called it the Tucker Carlson Encounter, which largely is what it is. But here's Clay Higgins, who has been smacked back into submission. He begged, he said, what can I campaign on? And the Republicans said, lies. You should campaign on lies. And here's a lie that you can just repeat.
So real hard, objective, and conservative estimates would put the number of FBI assets in the crowd, outside, and working inside at well over 200.
200?
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you get that estimate? How do you get an estimate of if it's 200? Why do we know of one? Why do we only know about Ray Epps? If there's 200, and that's again a conservative estimate, why do we only know of Ray Epps? And secondly, if there were 200 FBI members there, and that's a conservative estimate, and we don't know any of their names, I think it's likely that it's a lie. But it's also not unlikely that there are low-level FBI members who were there because they also thought the election was stolen. Yeah, they were on the ghost buses. That's right. They brought in this is a ghost bus, Clay Higgins. So Clay Higgins has found something to campaign on, and what he's campaigning on now is fucking bullshit. That's what he's doing. They're like, hey, we'll give you something. It's going to be bullshit, but it's something. So that's good to see. Now this was... I'm sure you've all seen this. I think Facts Still Matter, I think, did a video on this. I've seen quite a few videos. But for those of you who did not get all your news from TikTok yesterday, here is a clip. This is Mississippi Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. He's talking about removing Biden from the ballot. This is his new plan. This is the Republicans' new plan. They're going to remove Joe Biden for the ballot. And just watch how poorly he does in giving any reason whatsoever to remove Joe Biden from the ballot. Keep in mind that there is no reason. The reason they want Joe Biden removed from the ballot is because they feel like Donald Trump got picked on. But watch him just fumble over and over and over again. By the way, I don't know who this anchor is. He is handsome. Well done, bald, bearded anchor here.
In other words, you think that when the Supreme Court takes this up, they are going to side with President Trump. Is that correct?
They are going to side against people being thrown off the ballot in this sort of manner. The brief that I will be filing with the United States Supreme Court is not going to say that President Trump was a bad person. It's not going to say that he's a good person. What it's going to say is that this extrajudicial means of removing people from the ballot is catastrophic to our country if it's allowed to continue. Because if Democrats can do it, you know that Republicans will do it. And if Republicans will do it, then Democrats will do it.
I just want to point out that he's saying if Democrats do it, Republicans will do it. He is proving his own point here. He's saying that it's illegitimate while he's also illegitimately trying to remove somebody from a ballot. Just to be clear, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're like, well, if Democrats do it, then Republicans are, and we need to be wary. And it's like, wait, no, that's you. You're doing it. You're warning us about you? Is that what we're doing here?
To that point, Secretary, in order to remove President Biden from the ballot, according to your state constitution, you would need to go to court. What do you think would be your strongest argument?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Your state constitution actually states that the Secretary of State lacks authority to assess qualifications of a candidate to determine whether to place a candidate's name on a primary ballot. That's according to section 115.387 of your state constitution.
Sir, what I'm saying is, if the Supreme Court upholds the ruling out of Colorado, and what
which went to court to disqualify Donald Trump from the ballot. So you, according to your state constitution, would need to go to court.
So, again, just a recap. He's saying, the host here, I wish I knew his name. It doesn't have his name on here if you guys want it. I don't know who it is. Correctly saying that according to your state constitution, each constitution is a little bit different. In Missouri, if you want to remove somebody from the ballot, you have to do it through the courts, which is exactly what they did in Colorado. And they went through 2 courts in Colorado, and now it's at the Supreme Court. He's correctly identifying that this man can't just do this by himself. And as he cites the parts of the Constitution that say that, of course, the Republican response, just like every MAGA we get on here, is like, no, you're not listening. I know you're telling the truth, but you're not listening to my narrative.
Sir, let's just be clear. First of all, you've already said you're not an attorney and you don't know what happened in Colorado.
I know what happened in Colorado, sir. What I said was that I didn't read through all of the evidence specifically to be able to qualify whether there was hearsay or not. To get back to my question, you said that you would decide to remove Joe Biden from the ballot in your state. According to your state constitution, which I just read to you from, it says you need to go to court. I'm asking you what you think your strongest argument is.
And I continue to try to answer your questions, and you continue to try to tell me stuff that just isn't true.
That's not factual, sir. You made an accusation about me not knowing something. I'm trying to clarify it for you. You can choose to answer the question or just continue deflecting. What is the strongest argument you would make in court to remove Joe Biden from the ballot? Go. In other words.
All right, and I think we have the rest of the clip there. So, what's going to be your strongest argument? And I think this is the next piece here. Wait, that's 219 as well. Are they all? Is it here? Let me make sure this is the right one.
What would then be your justification for removing Joe Biden from the ballot in Missouri? Has he engaged in your mind?
All right, here it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not.
All right, it was the right one.
The Supreme Court will settle whether you can remove someone from the ballot or not, or potentially give guidance on that. I'm wondering, though, what would then be your justification for removing Joe Biden from the ballot in Missouri? Has he engaged, in your mind, in some kind of insurrection?
There have been allegations that he's engaged in insurrection.
How so?
And no, please let me finish. There have only been allegations.
You can't say something like that and not back it up. What do you mean?
I am continuing, but you interrupted me before I could back it up.
Go ahead,
Are you
sir.
scared of the truth?
Oh, I am not terrified of the truth at all. It seems like you might be. Let's hear what you have to say.
There have only been allegations against
What allegations?
President Trump has never been adjudicated guilty in a court of law.
What did Joe Biden do, in your mind, that equates insurrection? What allegations are you talking about?
I have seen allegations from the Lieutenant Governor of Texas that has said that Joe Biden has been part of insurrection or rebellion. We've seen the governor of Florida say the same thing.
Insurrection over what? What did the governor of Texas say that Joe Biden was causing an insurrection over? If you're going to make the claim, give me some specifics. Are you just going to cite the governor of Texas or Florida and not actually say what they are arguing? Do you know what they're arguing?
What I'm telling you is this. They made allegations, and all it took for former President Trump to be taken off the ballot in Colorado and in Maine were allegations. We should not be a country that removes people from the ballot based on allegations. I think you could agree with that.
I think it depends to a degree.
Oh, so
because
your guy can be removed from the ballot.
My guy, Joe Biden is not my guy. You don't know who my guy is. The point is,
It doesn't
sir,
matter.
the point is that it's not clear whether the 14th Amendment is self-executing or not. In other words, it doesn't matter to a court at that point whether there was a conviction of Donald Trump for insurrection or not. That is I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what, to clear that up, that's what this Supreme Court ruling is going to be about, is can you disqualify a president from the ballot who has not been convicted of engaging in an insurrection? No sane person would say, so meaning excluding MAGA, we got to throw them out. No sane person would say that there's no evidence that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection. There's a lot of evidence. Whether or not he's convicted is a different story. But what the Supreme Court is ruling, and it's based, again, there's a blind spot in the way that our laws are written. Can you remove somebody who has engaged in insurrection but hasn't been convicted? Now, great question here. What is the charge against Joe Biden? What insurrection did he engage in? And I've got one more clip here, but I got to tell you, spoiler alert, Jay Ashcroft doesn't fucking know.
The Secretary of State is the first layer in a legal process of deciding whether that person belongs on a ballot or not. It's in Maine state constitution. I think you should probably read it, sir, before you make claims about the Maine Secretary of State and their process. We got to leave the conversation there, but I very much appreciate your time. You're welcome back anytime, sir.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a good day. Happy New Year. Stay with CNN News Central. We're back in just moments.
He just rolls his eyes when he said, I thought there was more to that. When he says thank you, just rolls his eyes. This was the most disheveled, disgusted clip of any Republican I've ever seen. He was not equipped for that. If I was him, I guarantee that as soon as he got off this, he just started screaming at his staff. Like, why don't I have answers for anything? Imagine selling that too. This is what I always wonder about Republicans when they're in the room together. This guy's going to go on CNN. He knows what's going on, and he now has this plan to remove Joe Biden from the ballot. And I just wonder, are there no people in the Republican Party? Is there nobody on his staff? Is there nobody else within the party who says, hey, let's prepare you for some questions. Let's see if we have answers. It's like he was completely caught off guard. Like he didn't know that just saying that somebody else accused Joe Biden of something, but he doesn't even know what he accused him of is enough to remove him from the ballot? Or does he not know the evidence that was presented against Donald Trump? I'm going to guess all of it. He doesn't know any of it, but it's such a bizarre position. It's like talking to the dumbest MAGA on TikTok. I regularly think that there are people on TikTok that make better cases for MAGA than the actual elected officials for MAGA. It goes to show that, like, your job is to win an election. Your job is not necessarily to be educated. Your job's not necessarily to be equipped for the job. Your job is to campaign. And I would imagine, I have no idea, somebody should check this. This is just a guess. If you went and you looked at Jay Ashcroft, Ashcroft, if you went and looked at like his campaign or his history of things that he's said in the media, I'm going to imagine that almost everything he said was just like pro-Trump stuff, and that's his entire persona is wrapped up in pro-Trump stuff, and he lives in Missouri, and that's literally all you need. All you need is just to say a bunch of nice stuff about Trump, potentially have a law degree, and then they're like, that's good enough for me. You're going to do whatever we say. You're going to do whatever Donald says. Not what we say, what Donald says, dear leader says. Then let's move down to Don Jr., saying some real dumb shit. Don Jr., we've talked about him. He's unfortunately for me, I don't feel good about this, but unfortunately for me, Don Jr. is becoming like a sympathetic figure where he just comes off as like an abused kid, somebody trying his best to get his dad to finally love him. He's now interviewing Candyman Ronnie Jackson. He's a representative from Texas, most well known for being Donald Trump's lawyer. He's the one that came out and said he was like, what did he say, 6'3", like 225, something like that. That he was in perfect health, that he was in better health than anybody could ever imagine. He was nicknamed the Candyman by those in Washington because he just basically handed out prescriptions for anything. And it's also well established by many reports that the former president, Mr. Trump, regularly is elevated for his speeches. You don't go like that unless there are things perhaps clogging your nasal passages, or there are perhaps issues with breathing in through your nose due to, let's just call it, like decades of abusing certain substances. But here's Don Jr., and if you could see his face, completely whacked out of his mind, talking to Ronnie Jackson and making a really bad policy prescription that I don't think his father would want to apply to him.
Can the American public, is there a way to subpoena, what if they're giving him something to stay cognitive? Because it feels to me like when I watch him at what would be, he doesn't do many, right? It's not like Trump will get up there for 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours and speak.
It's weird that he calls his dad Trump, by the way. It's really fucking weird.
It's always very curt, concise, when they cut it down. It's very...
Let's cover those words again here, Don Jr.
Curt, concise, it's always very concise. Curt, concise, when they cut it, it's always very concise. Curt, concise.
It's always concise. Curt. I'm not sure. Curt, concise. Those are the words he's saying here. Definitely not elevated.
When they cut it down, time to go. Everyone get out of the room. But it does feel like if it goes on for more than a few minutes, you see everything like wears off. I mean, is there a way for the American...
By the way, I finally watched that speech at Valley Forge. Spoiler alert, his State of the Union, longer than a few minutes. Valley Forge, longer than a few minutes. In fact, rarely does he speak for only a few minutes. I don't know what Don Jr. is watching, or why he is lying to MAGA, or why Ronnie Jackson doesn't step in and say, no, that's a dumb fucking thing you just said. But they're all just doing their Daddy Trump's bidding.
American people to find out, because I think they have a right to know if their president is being just, artificially jacked up by some sort of medication to create the illusion that there's some coherence. Again, I think it fades very quickly.
All right. There's a reason Don Jr. talks about something specifically. He doesn't know what he's on. But there is a drug that you can take, perhaps through your nose, and the effects thereof wear off within minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I think Don Jr. is very aware of what drug might have those effects. And this feels an awful lot like a self-report to me. So there's Don Jr. losing his mind. Now we'll go, let's see. By the way, the CNN anchor's name was Boris Sanchez. He does not look like a Boris. He's beautiful. I've never seen such a beautiful Boris in my life. But how am I aware? I'll be honest. I have not engaged in that particular nose activity ever. I've never done that. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I do not judge anyone who has done it. I have never been even around it. I've never been offered. So just to be clear, I'm not ripping anybody but I'm just saying that it seems to be what Don Jr. here is very aware of. Let me get where was this? All right, now we're gonna get to Dark Brandon. We're gonna give a little bit. Now here's Dark Brandon again. Now this is 41 seconds, so unfortunately it was during a very long speech. This was in South Carolina here. This is President Biden talking about the respect MAGA Republicans may have for our country, for our rule of law, and for the other voters.
They don't have respect for the 81 million people who voted the other way, voted for my candidacy, and voted to end the presidency. In their world, these Americans, including you, don't count. But that's not the real world. That's not democracy. That's not America. In America, we all count. In America, we witness to serve all those who, in fact, participate. And losers are taught to concede when they lose. And he's a loser.
It took a while to get there, Joe. It took a while to get there, but the mic drop moment at the end was good. If you missed that, he said, in this country, we're taught to concede when we lose, and he's a loser. Then we'll go on to some more Dark Brandon, just some highlights here. Let's do this.
Accept the verdict of the war. They had lost. After the Civil War, the defeated Confederates couldn't accept the verdict of the war. They had lost. So they say they embraced what's known as the lost cause, a self-serving lie that the Civil War is not about slavery, but about states' rights. They've called that the noble cause. That was a lie that had, not just a lie, but it had terrible consequences. It brought on Jim Crow. So let me be clear, for those who don't seem to know, slavery...
Nikki Haley.
There's no negotiation about that. Now we're living in an era of a second lost cause. Once again, there's some in this country trying to turn a loss into a lie which, if allowed to live, will once again bring terrible damage to this country. This time, the lie is about the 2020 election. The election which you made, your voices heard, and your power known. Just 2 days ago, we marked the third anniversary of one of the darkest days in American history, January the 6th, the day in which insurrectionists stormed the United States Capitol, trying for the first time in American history to stop the peaceful transfer of power in the country.
Never forget that January 6th has been an evolving story. It's been an evolving story by Republicans. It's been an evolving story by everybody that we talk to on this app. Initially, January 6th was an insurrection that was justified. The election was stolen. It was justified. It was American patriots doing their job. It was standing up against a tyrannical government. Then, as it turned out, that the court case after court case after court case proved that just wasn't the case. The election wasn't stolen. There was no reason for an insurrection. There was no reason to enter the Capitol. The people were not lied to. The election was not stolen. As those court cases have unfolded, as hundreds of people have admitted that were there at the Capitol, admitted why they were there, that they were there because they were lied to. Many of them admitting that now they knew that they had been lied to. Once they were outside of the cult, once they had some time to do some research, to reflect, they realized they were lied to, and they were caught up in the moment. They've admitted this. They've changed their ways. They wound up serving their sentences. But again, remember, first it was justified. Then the court cases came. Then it wasn't. Then we needed a new excuse. Then we needed a different way to present this. So what did we do? Oh, it was Antifa. It was Antifa. It was BLM. They were the ones instigating. They were the ones leading. You see these videos? You see these videos of police officers letting people in? You see these videos of people with masks on? Well, they wouldn't be wearing masks. They wouldn't wear masks because MAGA doesn't wear masks. We're not afraid of COVID. You wouldn't be masked up, so it must be Antifa. Again, I'll reference that 1776 document that was sent to me by Whisper yesterday. And I read through it last night. I was unaware. This was part of the plan. Part of the plan was for the people who were in the know, who knew the plan. It literally says in the document, use the COVID restrictions to your benefit. Cover your face. Wear a mask. Make sure that you're not seen. It listed out the chants. Here are 5 chants that we are going to chant to get people riled up. It was We the People. It was No Justice, No Peace. It was 1776. Something about the election being, so I can't remember exactly what all 5 of them were. There were 5 chants on there. So we then have the court cases from these people who planned it. They go over, here's your plan and here's how it was executed. We now have the names of the people and what roles they were playing. There were names of each role. There were leaders. You want to talk about Ray Epps. They talked about infiltrating law enforcement, and they talked about staging people all over the Capitol. And there would be certain people who their sole purpose was to stand there and incite people and get people mad. Tell them that we're going to storm the Capitol. Tell them that we've got to stop the stolen election. And by the way, all the people who were planning out this attack, their role was to not be there. That was they couldn't be caught. They had to use all these other pieces to do their bidding because they were so important that they couldn't be there on January 6th. That's why you see cowards like Enrique Tarrio who are in prison for a very, very long time because they orchestrated this. And part of the reason his prison sentence was so long is because of all of the innocent people that he affected. All of these other people who went to jail. There's hundreds of people that showed up poorly informed at a Trump rally, poorly were informed to go down to the Capitol, and then were poorly informed that it was okay to go into the Capitol. And these people broke the law, and they should be punished for that. But that's the reason that their sentence wasn't nearly as long as all of these other people who are spending 20 to 30 years. Those were the actual cowards. These people, these Proud Boys, these Oath Keepers that act tough. We've had Proud Boys on here talking to us. Like, you're not tough. You're not. You want to use everybody else to do your bidding. So then the narrative had to change to, okay, well, now we know what this story is. We know that this was orchestrated. We know that there were people on the inside to open doors. We know there were people on the outside that were leading chants. We know they knew exactly which windows were reinforced and which ones weren't. We know that many of them, as they entered the Capitol, knew exactly where to go. We have evidence that Republican after Republican... Was there a guest there for a second? Sorry about that. I didn't see. Republican after Republican after Republican gave tours to people who were there on January 6th, just days before. Just days before these people were giving tours of the Capitol. We know that they had planned exit routes. They had people that had access to in the document, they're saying, if you have friends that are truckers, if you have friends that are bus drivers, they reference Truckers for Trump. Have them come here. Yeah, sorry. No, Jen invited him. That's my bad. We can bring him back up. They had truckers that were there ready to block exit routes so that as people tried to escape Washington, D.C., they could block streets. It's unbelievable. And now what's the story? The story's evolved into what? Like it's all Antifa. Trump had nothing to do. In fact, Donald Trump tried to stop it, but Nancy Pelosi wouldn't allow the National Guard. The stories are so stupid. The arguments are so stupid. They're so loosely based in anything that could be constructed as fact. That's why this is frustrating for all of us. Is because it's obvious what happened. The narrative has changed. In the last 3 years, the narrative has changed with every new piece of evidence. When new evidence comes out, they're like, oh, never mind. It's a different conspiracy. It's just a different conspiracy. And all this is doing, it's just a way to kick the can down the road, keep Trump alive a little bit longer, let him continue to campaign, let him continue to finance his lawsuits, let him continue to grift off the American people. Jagger, yeah, you're welcome to come back in. Sorry about that. Was it Jagger that jumped up and didn't want to come back? Come back, brother. We can talk. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the evolution of the story. At this point, if you're MAGA and you don't recognize that your stories have evolved, your excuses have evolved, ask yourself why. Why does your excuse evolve? How come when new evidence comes out that shows that your story's wrong, you're not willing to say like, oh, maybe my guy was in on this. Maybe my guy was part of this. I don't know if you're MAGA, Jagger. I don't know. It sounds like you were chirping. You got invited. That's all I know. You're welcome to come back up. You can tell me what you want to say. Hi, welcome to Costco. I love you. I love you too, Jagger. But at this point, for anybody to say that MAGA's not a cult, it sure should operate like a cult. Truth doesn't matter. Stories can evolve. I'll say I was in a cult, and the stories evolved. When new evidence comes out that proves that your cult is wrong, you evolve. You change the story. You change the narrative. You change the bad guy. You blame somebody else. You call the people who bring this to your attention enemy of the people. We call them anti-Mormon. You guys call us TDS. You hate the truth. It drives you nuts. The truth drives you absolutely insane. But if you have to change your story this often, then why do you still believe it? It's a story for you. This is a team. It's more like rooting for a football team. At the end of every season, there's one team that wins the Super Bowl. Everybody else loses. And what do you see in their local media? What do you see from their fans? They start blaming. Why did we not win the Super Bowl? Well, our quarterback's not good enough. We didn't draft well. We had injuries. We got to fire our coach. We got to fire our general manager. We need new, there's excuse after excuse after excuse, because people don't want to accept that just what really happened is there's only one winner and you guys weren't the winner. And so the refs cheated, right? Like it's all a conspiracy. I do notice this with my MAGA friends. Every time there's like a blown call in the NFL, they're like, the NFL's rigged. It's such a shitty way to live life. It's got to be a sad way to live life, where everything that doesn't go your way, you just assume is rigged. Anytime society moves in a direction that you don't like, it's rigged. It's a cabal. It's evil. It's got to be an exhausting way to live life. That would absolutely suck. I would hate that. I would hate to live my life that way. But at this point, I think so many of them, like the one guest that we had, they had the courage. I'll give the one and only credit. He had courage to come up here and have a discussion. But the one guest that had the courage, just like that interview with the Secretary of State, when you ask MAGA questions, it falls apart. If you engage with MAGA and just let them throw their accusations at Joe Biden and go down that conspiracy rabbit hole, like they feel comfortable. But when you start asking them questions about their beliefs, about their people, there are no answers. It's got to be confusing, and I don't know. I guess I was in a cult, so I understand it. It's blissfully unaware. You walk around and no amount of new information can ever hurt you, because you've made a decision. AF, what do you mean Dems are so scared? AF, if Dems are so scared, what are you doing in the comments? What are you like? What are we afraid of? I'm up here talking. I'm up here making my case. You're down there saying that we're afraid. Nobody's afraid of Republicans. This is the other part that you guys don't get. You're losing popularity. We're afraid of. Is it true that we're afraid of what will happen if Donald Trump gets in power? Absolutely, because he's a fascist, and he's openly admitting that he's a fascist, and he will use the power of the government to go against anybody who has been outspoken against him. Like I'm a nobody, right? I have a bit of a following on TikTok, and I wouldn't feel that safe under a Donald Trump presidency, knowing what he has said, knowing what he wants to do to the people who oppose him. Now, I'm not high up on the list, but what if he took care of the list? You don't think at some point it would come down to me? Or look at Twitter, the accusations this morning on Twitter. I was looking into this myself. I was telling Jen last night, I was looking at my analytics. Interesting thing, before Elon was really involved in Twitter, I had roughly like 1,800 followers. And my engagement was low. Like average engagement on a month was like 2,000 engagements. I didn't tweet a ton, and I still don't tweet a ton. But in the last 3 or 4 months, my average engagement's up to 70, 80,000, and I am not getting any new viewers. People have a hard time finding me. I don't show up in like suggested follows. I see Wei Quinn and Tyler right now. I'm just looking for opposition. I don't know if either of you guys are opposition. AF is too afraid to get up here and have a discussion. Oh my God. Whose name is Ashes Babbitt? Whose name is that? That is devastating. That's not nice. But yeah, I mean, there is going to be retribution from conservatives if Donald Trump gets back into office. And for what? Every accusation against him, every single investigation into him, every one of his indictments, all of them are based on good evidence. Will he be convicted? Who knows? But there's solid evidence there. And why are you guys suddenly the party who's against transparency? You guys love transparency. You love it when it's about Joe Biden. You love it when you get to say that Joe Biden's corrupt. And yet here we have it that the Republicans have gone above and beyond. The Republicans have gotten access to shit they never should have had access to. There is no reason why Republicans should have had access to those SARS reports. There's no reason why Republicans or anybody should have access to Hunter Biden's laptop. None. There are zero accusations that have been leveled with any evidence at all. And yet here we are. We now have the evidence. They got the evidence, which they shouldn't have got, and it proved nothing. It's proven every one of them innocent. It's proven that Joe Biden is exactly who we said he was. Joe Biden's a gaffe machine. He's a career politician, but he's not ultra wealthy. It doesn't appear that he, outside of writing a book, it doesn't appear that he's really done anything to enrich himself. His investments are small. I mean, he's had a lot of heartache. He's paid a lot of money for his son. He's not an ultra wealthy guy. Most of his net worth came from writing a book. Everything you guys bring up just goes to prove that what you guys say about him isn't true. And you don't care. You will be convinced of it till the day that you die. You will tell your children. But also, don't reproduce, please. That'd be great. Oh, he said I was reading a script. Tyler, are you up as well? Jen's wondering. I see Tyler and I see Wei Quinn. Jen just wants to know if you're opposition. By the way, he wasn't wrong. I guess whoever was coming up and said I was reading the script, you weren't way wrong. I do have an outline every day that I do on a show, and this is the most I've had to speak by myself for a long time. Let's go to, oh my God, this is the one. I forgot all about this. This is great. All right. Here's a crazy fucking story. This is from Mediaite. Yesterday, there was audio that was obtained exclusively by Mediaite. And it was I don't know if they've released the audio yet, but let me make sure they don't have it. Okay. On this video, Roger Stone, who, by the way, but I'll get back to Roger Stone. Roger Stone, who was one of Trump's main advisors, was also an advisor to Richard Nixon, was meeting with one of his private security, a guy by the name of Sal Greco. Sal Greco, at the time, was a NYPD cop, and he was working security for Stone on the side. By the way, they're also having this discussion at Cafe Europa in Fort Lauderdale. So somehow this cop, who was an active NYPD cop, was down in Fort Lauderdale working with Stone. I guess took some time out. And they were focused on two Democrats for whom Roger Stone harbors particular animosity for, Jerry Nadler and Eric Swalwell. Now, we have the audio conversation. I assume it came from Greco. And here's what Roger Stone said. It's time to do it. Let's go find Swalwell. It's time to do it. Then we'll see how brave the rest of them are. It's time to do it. It's either Nadler or Swalwell has to die before the election. They need to get the message. Let's go find Swalwell and get this over with. I'm just not putting up with this shit anymore. Source familiar with the discussion told media they believe Stone's remarks were serious. It was definitely concerning that he was constantly planning violence with an NYPD officer and other militia groups. He's mad about Roger Stone Jerry Nadler and Eric Swalwell, because they correctly point out that Roger Stone is a convicted criminal. He has made threats over and over again. This is not the first time he's threatened someone. In fact, he threatened to go to war with Trump and expose a bunch of Trump stuff when Trump didn't. I don't remember. Was it a pardon? I can't remember what Trump was trying to do. Something else I learned today, randomly learned today, or last night, excuse me. I was watching a video and it was just like, the video was titled something like things you didn't know about the JFK presidency. And one of the things I didn't know about the JFK presidency is that when JFK beat Nixon, and again, his one of his main advisors was Roger Stone. If you don't believe me, Roger Stone has a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his fucking back. Roger Stone and Nixon decided that the election was stolen. And what did they accuse? They accused the Democrats, get this, of ballot stuffing and ballot harvesting. The exact same things that they accused Joe Biden of. Exactly the same things. They took they took all of these cases to court, and everyone lost. Every one of them. And Richard Nixon for months maintained that the election was stolen. The same playbook. Now remember when Richard Nixon got in trouble, what did Richard Nixon do? He blamed the media. If you go read All the President's Men. Is that what it's called? Am I mixing that up? Is that the Watergate story? I think it's All the President's Men. Somebody tell me if that's wrong or not. I think that's what it's called. The Bob Woodward book. But go read it. And you'll see that originally, when the claims came up that the Republicans had broken into the DNC and that Richard Nixon was part of it, he first denied that it happened. Then he denied that they were Republicans. Then he denied that he had anything to do with it. Then he blamed the media. He went on an all-out rampage against the media, called them liars, said that they were just out to get him because they were afraid that he was going to, get this, expose the deep state and expose the corruption. Sound familiar? The only reason Nixon ever, and by the way, Nixon never admitted any of this. Nixon left office, and when he resigned office, he said it was for the good of the country. He said, I still am not admitting any wrongdoing, but for the good of the country, I'm going to step down. And then he was pardoned. And that pardon, who do we decide was the pardon? It wasn't Johnson. It was whoever the fuck his vice president was. Anyways, he got pardoned. That pardon has since, later in life, he said that was the wrong thing to do. Ford, thank you, Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford has since, later in life, said he shouldn't have pardoned him. And then you have the famous Frost-Nixon interviews that happened later, where I think it's David Frost was interviewing Nixon. And Nixon only chose this interview because Frost was not someone they took seriously as like a political journalist. And he thought it would be a softball, easy walkover interview. And it turned out not to be. It's one of the things that Nixon was the most upset about. And even in those interviews, Nixon wouldn't admit that there was any wrongdoing. Then we find out now, like Nixon's long gone, we find out that the leaker, the person that was leaking the story was, let me get his name. It was codenamed Deep Throat. What was his name? Does anybody have it? Deep Throat's identity. Mark Felt. And Mark Felt was an FBI agent, and I believe he was deputy director of the FBI. By the way, yeah, codename Deep Throat. That's right. It's an FBI director, somebody who worked closely. He worked with Trump, which is why they never Nixon. They didn't reveal his identity, and I don't think we even found out what his identity was until like fairly recently. I can't remember what year, but it was not that long ago. But these inside sources are the ones that ultimately brought Nixon down. Compare that to what's happening with Donald Trump. Look at every single indictment with Donald Trump. Where's that evidence coming from? His people. It's Kevin McCarthy, right? It's emails. It's text messages. It's stuff they were saying to each other. There isn't a single bit of evidence that is from the deep state or from the media or from the left or from Trump-hating rhino Republicans. None of it. It's Meadows. Dan Scavino. Dan Scavino, now we know for sure, has flipped on Trump. Second in command to Mark Meadows. I said McCarthy. Yeah, thank you. I think I said McCarthy, but I meant Meadows. Thank you. I mix those two up all the time. White people all look the same. But it's exactly the same story as what happened to Nixon. And you have Roger Stone's fingerprints all over it. It's the same people. It's the same story. It's the same shit. We're told all the time history repeats itself. Well, I don't love that. I don't think history does repeat itself. But you know what it does? Like when you involve the same people, they might act in the same way. And ultimately, Roger Stone did get away with what he did with Nixon. And ultimately, Nixon kind of got away with it. He was never charged with a crime. He was pardoned. He never admitted fault. He maintained that the election was stolen by JFK. Like, we've seen all this shit before. And yet millions of people are still convinced that despite the evidence time and time again showing up and proving that Donald Trump was wrong, they don't care. They just double down. They go to the next conspiracy theory. Time and time again, they believe the exact same story that happened in Watergate. And I don't know, like it's almost impossible to convince people that when they've accepted a lie to then turn their back on that lie. In the box, I just see Wei Quinn, and I don't think Wei Quinn was opposition. I don't remember. That's all I see. But if you're MAGA here, let's talk about it. I'll be nice. I'll let you talk. I'll let you make your arguments. But I just want to know, at this point, considering the two points really, the overwhelming evidence that Donald Trump committed crimes, and that evidence is provided exclusively by those who are still loyal to him, were loyal to him, and are Republicans. And I'd also like to talk about Biden. I'd like to talk about the fact that not a single accusation you've been able to throw at Biden sticks. Not one. In fact, most of it now, given the Devon Archer testimony that James Comer is telling us. I can remove you from the box, Wei Quinn. Sorry about that. Oh, you're out. I guess Jen took care of it. Well, the Devon Archer testimony. James Comer's telling us this is the damning evidence. Here's our smoking gun. Here's what we have. He's telling the American people, this is the shit that we're going to hang our hats on. And then you read it, and it completely exonerates Joe Biden. I just want to know why you guys are still why you still believe this. That's all I want to know. What am I missing? What part of the story am I missing here? In fact, I would challenge any of you to, and I'm sure it exists, but I would challenge any of you to come up and show me a time when the media lied about Donald Trump and you can prove that it was a lie. Just one where the media came out, not reporting that somebody accused him of something, but that the media actually actively lied about Donald Trump. I'll give you the Twitter files. You can bring up anything you want from the Twitter files and show me any of that information. Is there anything that is damning that shows that there is any sort of coordinated effort to keep Donald Trump out of power outside of the opposing political party campaigning against him, which is what you're supposed to do? Campaigning against a a president of the opposite party is not evidence of a crime. It's campaigning. That's what I want to know. And I think that's why we're seeing, I was on Dougie's live, or not on Dougie's live. I was just watching Dougie's live last night. If you guys don't watch Dougie's live, they're really interesting. He has the ability to bring up, Dougie's a better listener than me, but he has really good conversations on his live. But I was watching last night, and you had Guerrilla Radio in there and very few MAGA. And then when I would scroll through the lives, every MAGA live was 8 on 0. And it's literally just MAGAs getting together, trying to convince each other that what we're doing on the left, that we're evil and it's our fault, that we just have this conspiracy, that we don't know what the evidence is. We don't look at the evidence. We just hate Donald Trump so much that we take him down. Well, he hasn't been taken down. He's still running for president. We're going through all the proper channels. America is going through the proper channels of how you prosecute a person, whether that's a former president or just a regular ass person. In fact, Donald Trump is getting special treatment all over the place. He's having these cases moved back. He's able to, in some cases, especially with election interference, he's able to move to different courts. He's getting preferential treatment because of who he is. He has millions of dollars at his disposal, which is why he's allowed to roam freely about the country. He's allowed to go all around the country because he can pay for bond. By the way, let's talk about, you want to talk about inconsistencies. The two charges against Hunter Biden, the ones that they're trying to call him before Congress about, and the ones that you guys make a big deal about, tax evasion, which Donald Trump also is credibly accused of, and going to be found civilly liable for. The same. It's a civil penalty, just like Hunter. And we're talking about the president's son versus the actual president, and obtaining a gun while felon. Well, bad news. There's a video of Donald Trump purchasing a gun while he is out on bail. Also illegal. Literally, the exact charges, the only two charges you've got to stick on Hunter Biden, Donald Trump is charged for one of them and could easily be charged for the other one. Both. It's so incredible. It's so incredible how inconsistent MAGA will be with their claims and their outrage. There's no difference between those two charges, except for what? That Hunter Biden went to drug rehab, so you guys think he's just a piece of shit. He can never be redeemed. Is that why? I mean, I think Don Jr. did. Didn't Don Jr. go to rehab? I don't know if it's working. He seems to have relapsed, possibly. Let's see what else we got. How much time do we have? Goddamn MAGA, please come up here. I'm getting tired of talking. All right, so this is from Ron Filipowski. I haven't read this, so this is coming to you guys in real time. Yeah, and Hunter's a private citizen. Good point. Barry Loudermilk yesterday tweeted out, Cassidy Hutchinson tried to justify her dramatic changes in testimony by blaming her ex-lawyer, Stephan Passantino. We look forward to hearing the truth from Stephan about his interactions with her and the J6 committee. I don't actually know what this is about. Let's find out what this is about. This was just sent to me. Cassidy. Does anybody know what this is about? Claims lawyer. Let's see. I'm going to have to pee here soon, too. All right, so here's the story. It's from Washington Post. Former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified to the House Select Committee that she was advised by her first lawyer to deliberately withhold information from investigators and was wooed with job offers and promises of financial stability in exchange for her loyalty to former President Donald Trump. The claims, which if true amount to possible witness tampering, were detailed at length by Hutchinson in interview transcripts that the committee released on Thursday. So this came out Thursday. When was the date on this? Okay, this is from a while ago. The less you remember, the better, Hutchinson recalled her attorney, Passantino, telling her, don't read anything to try to jog your memory. Don't try to put together timelines. Especially if you put together timelines, we have to give those over to the committee. In addition to her own liar, Hutchinson claimed that Trump's former campaign lawyer, chief of staff, White House lawyers, and other close confidants to the former president showered her with praise and promised that her loyalty would be rewarded. We're going to get you a really good job in the Trump world, Hutchinson said. Passantino told her in one phone call days ahead of her testimony. You don't need to apply to other places. We're going to get you taken care of. We want to keep you in the family. As with all my clients during my 30 years of practice, this is Passantino's denial. I represented Ms. Hutchinson honorably, ethically, and fully consistent with her sole interests as she communicated them to me. I believe Mrs. Hutchinson was being truthful and cooperative with the committee throughout this several interviews in which I represented her. He added that he would be taking leave of absence from his law firm, given the distraction from this matter. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, Chuck. How are you? So Ron Filipowski is saying, I'm begging Loudermilk to bring in the Trump lawyer that Cassidy had originally so we can learn how he was retained, who paid him, what instructions they gave him, and how he then unethically persuaded his client to lie. Please do this, you dummy. That'd be great. I would love to hear from Passantino. But again, don't take this. You don't have to take this at face value. You can look at Trumpland. You can look at the people that the Trump co-defendants. What were they offered? What happens to people when they go against Trump? How does he work with them? What happened to Ted Cruz? Suddenly Ted Cruz was a star. Suddenly Ted Cruz had all these committee assignments. Suddenly Ted Cruz had a very popular podcast. Suddenly Ted Cruz had a bunch of donor money flooding his way. I have not read Cassidy Hutchinson's book. Good question. I was unaware that Cassidy Hutchinson wrote a book. Okay. Let me read this. Give me 1 second. What's the book called? Does anybody know what that book is called? I have no idea. I would love to read it. I finished Romney's book finally, which is also great. I highly recommend it. Oh yeah, this one. All right, here's. Oh, it's called Enough. Okay, I didn't know why you guys were saying enough. It's called Enough. Okay, thank you. I kept seeing that. I was like, what are you guys talking about? Are you guys done with me? All right, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene explaining why Democrats like us hate her, and she just nails it. By the way, Mitt Romney has 2 T's. Don't call him MIT Romney, you bully.
They put stickers on it. They attack me because I like Jesus. Do you guys like Jesus? They don't like Jesus.
Yeah, we don't. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Jesus. I think that's fair. It has nothing to do with why I like Marjorie Taylor Greene, though. Marjorie Taylor Greene, in my opinion, the reason I don't like her, and I'll try and word this carefully, is because she's stupid. She's just very fucking stupid. And she speaks with a lot of confidence, and she lies a lot. And she lies with that same confidence. And again, the main reason I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene is because she is stupid. There's another video. Felice sent it to me this morning. Let's see if I think Felice sent it. Maybe it was on a group text. Where was that one? Jen, maybe you can help me. Did you have that? Jen, do you have that other clip from Marjorie Taylor Greene in the car? I don't know if you guys have seen this one. Let me find it. My goodness. Where did she send? There's too many. This is the problem. There's too many ways to communicate. I'll find it here. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene in a car. Marjorie. Let's find this. Sorry, guys. All right, look, Jen, are you still here? Let me see if Jen's still here. Jen, I would like you, if you could come up real quick. Jen, I need you to explain how to get into the Discord. And I'm only saying this because some people missed it earlier, but also because I am seconds away from peeing in my pants, and I don't want there to be silence. So, Jen, will you just explain to the people how to get an invite to Discord, and I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Thank you.
So if you want a invite to the Discord, you can DM myself or any of the other mods that are in the chat, and we can reply to you with a link to the Discord, which will take you to the app. You can get in through that way. You can email Jay, RTP. As you've seen, his attention span, and I've said it 1,000 times, is like a goldfish. So here and there, he may forget it, or it'll get left somewhere, and like 2-3 weeks later. It's probably best to message a mod. So this was a bad call for him to walk away from the screen and to let me be loose. Okay, Lib Wrangler, don't be a jerk. Don't make me take away some of your privileges. So yeah, you can DM any of the mods. And we can let you get back in. So
I did it. Thank you, Jen.
Did you wash
saved my
your hands?
life. A little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't do the 20 seconds.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, well, it's my
I
computer.
I think I found the link for the. Is it we're not wearing a seatbelt?
Yeah.
The one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you send that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Just 1 second.
Okay. Cool.
Bye.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Guys, you have no idea how important Jen is. Jen is legitimately the only reason this whole thing still works. Brandon, I'm going to bring you up in a sec. Let me play this clip real quick, and then I've been wanting to talk to you, so I will bring you up in just a second. I'm I'm gonna wait for Jen to send it. I'm not sure. Jen, you may want to send it through Discord, because if you sent texts earlier, and they didn't come through, then maybe my texts are broken. So maybe send that one through Discord. Actually, I'll bring Brandon up. Here's who I want to bring up. You guys may remember Brandon, official Brandon. He was running for Congress as a Democrat in, I don't remember which district. I want to say 8. And he messaged me the other day to make an announcement, and I'll just let you, Brandon, make the announcement. First of all, wow, look at you. Are you working?
Yeah, I had a jacket on for a little while. I'm not a big jacket guy, so
This is the best I've ever seen you look.
Sometimes
incredible.
I put on dress clothes, man. It's not always joggers and white t-shirts.
I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie every single day.
There you go.
That's why I can't run for office. I don't think you can do that. Well, tell us. So you were in, was it District 8?
District 9.
9, nailed it. You were in District 9. You were running against who?
Paul Gosar. Go
That's
Sar.
right.
Whatever you
That's
want
right.
to. Yeah.
And I think in your announcement you mentioned that you just felt like the other person that was there was going to maybe have more resources to be able to compete. Is that?
He's going to have more resources. Plus, he lives in that district. And I think it's only fair to that district. And I got to the point where every political event I was going to was 3 hours away from my house. Or, like Kingman is not a short drive from Chandler and Tempe.
From anywhere.
Like
It's not.
it's not close. Yuma is not close. All those places are at least an hour away. So I decided, I grew up in the East Valley. I went to high school at Skyline High School. Yeah. So I decided District 5 made more sense. It's where I live. Political events would be a lot closer. It's easier for me to talk to people that want to vote for me than trying to drive at least an hour away from my house just to meet with them. And then they asked me about stuff about the West Valley, and I'm just like, I have no idea.
What? I stay out of there as much as I can. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you are running against my favorite congressman. This is my district, Andy Biggs.
Yeah.
Mr. Congressional subpoena dodging Andy Biggs.
Asking for pardon, Andy Biggs. Yeah, the same guy.
Yeah.
So
fun fact that you probably know about Andy Biggs, but Andy Biggs was a trained lawyer, but not a good one, not very successful. Andy
Right.
Biggs made most of his money by winning the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
correct.
Yeah.
So District 5, like I said, District 5 makes more sense for me, being East Valley raised. I am an East Mesa kid. I was right on that line of Apache Junction growing up. So
What were your cross streets growing up?
Crisman and Broadway.
All right, that is not far from my house.
If you know where Skyline High School is,
I do.
literally on the other side of the park from Skyline High School, there's a gated community. That one.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you go. I know right where I used to play softball at Skyline all the time at not the high school, but the fields next to it.
Park. I remember
Yeah,
when
Skyline
it was
Park.
a dirt lot. Showing my age, I guess. 20 years ago when it was a dirt lot. But
So I was in contact with. Do you remember who ran against him last time in District 5? What her name was?
she's running again.
Oh, she is. What's her name?
I have talked to her. I am super bad with names. I promise the next time that we talk, I would definitely know her full name. She's a very nice. I don't want to just say lady, but she's very nice. But and it's nothing against her. This is something that I absolutely want to do, and it's one of those like may the best person win in the primary in August. And that's kind of where I'm at. I've started my shameless plug, but if anybody follows me on Twitter, I've started my tirade on Andy, Mr. Biggs, and his ridiculous grandstanding the last few weeks of being in Eagle Pass and talking about President Biden needs to fix the border like he's not in a government position that could do things about the border. Today has been kind of a tirade day, not just against him, but against state legislators that are yelling about the ESA vouchers and you know what I'm talking about. So,
Do you feel like there's or was it Katrina Schaffner? Is that the other? That's the only other name I see running.
Yeah, I think it's Katrina. Katrina sounds right, but I could be wrong.
Okay, and is he being? I guess you have Clint Smith and Evan Olson running primary, but that wasn't the one that ran against him last time.
I don't believe.
remember her name.
Actually, I'm not. I thought she ran last time too, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Anyways, so I think whoever ran last time, she picked up like 38% of the vote or something like that. So it's heavy red.
Oh, it's heavy red. It's so District 5 is no different than District 9. You have to pick up the independent voters. There are more either registered independent or unregistered voters than there are Republicans, and there's more Republicans than there are Democrats. So I'm not expecting to get a bunch of Republicans to flip over and vote for me, but it's more about getting the other people that are misrepresented in District 5 by their current congressmen who could care less about representing them and would rather just be a mouthpiece for everything that Donald Trump wants.
One interesting part of this race, as I was looking at after you told me, is that Clint Smith, who I think ran for state senate or was a state senator, Andy Biggs is Mormon. Clint Smith is also a Mormon. They both went to BYU. They both got law degrees from Arizona State. He is running as an independent, and I know that he has money. He ran in the general election in 2022 and picked up 18,000 votes. So there may be another person in the race that at least can steal some votes from Biggs that you probably wouldn't pick up anyways.
Oh yeah. So I don't mind an independent, because what an independent does is like he'll get his votes. And I told somebody, and I think you'll understand where I'm coming from with this. I am a Democrat, and I say that, but not everything that I do is like have to be a Democrat, must do everything the Democrat and agree. I'm there for the people. So when someone asks me, why don't I just run independent? Because running as a Democrat instantly gets you all of those people that just check every D down the box. I know that's not the best thing. I'm just a very transparent, honest person. You're starting out with like a few thousand votes of people who don't know who you are, have never met you, but they'll check your name because there's a D next to it. And it is what it is. I mean, if the goal is to get rid of people like Andy Biggs, that's, it's what we have to do.
Do you have an idea of, just off the top of my head, when I think of this district, I think that some of the issues where maybe you can pull from Andy Biggs would be things like his extreme stances on raising or cutting entitlement spending for Medicare and Social Security. The East Valley where we're at, we got a bunch of fossils driving around
Chandler
here.
and Gilbert has the age of people in Chandler and Gilbert have raised. Especially over the last probably 10 years. When you have your representative saying, I'm going to slash Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, you are talking to a lot of people in the East Valley of Arizona. So it's just one of those things where I allow people like Andy Biggs to shoot himself in the foot and just let him talk. And then, because it turns into that thing where I'm not here to bash him and say, he's a racist, he's a bigot. I'll let him say the stupid things for himself, and I'll just quote him.
Yeah, he's more, I don't know if he's a racist or a bigot, but he is a fucking idiot.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's the main thing I've learned from Andy Biggs is he's really fucking stupid. I listen to his town halls all the time. He's remarkably uninformed for a person whose job it is to be informed and vote for the people. He's one of the dumb. I mean, Arizona's full of some dumb Republicans. You went from possibly the only Republican dumber than him in the state. So, this is actually a step up in competition. He can complete coherent sentences. But do you have an idea of do Democrats feel like that this is an opportunity for them? Do they feel like they can make up? Like I said, so Ramos actually, I must have been thinking of previous to Ramos running against Biggs. There was a lady that ran against him. He got 37%. You're going to have to crack, obviously, 50%. You're going to have to cut 7% of the votes off from Andy Biggs. It wasn't as bad as I thought. He got 56% of the vote. So do Democrats feel like this is an opportunity for them? There has been a lot of growth since 2022. You've had a bunch of people move in from California into the East Valley specifically. It's known in Arizona as the place in the valley with the best schools, the lowest crime. There's a bunch of new businesses that went in out by the airport. You've got, I think Amazon has a big facility out there.
Yep.
So it's a place where we've drawn a lot of jobs recently. Do you feel like there may be enough of a or do Democrats feel like there's enough of a demographic change that this is really in play?
Yeah, so the East Valley too, a lot of people don't realize is the people who are like middle-aged that live there that's been voting Republican, they have children that will not. So you almost have households that are canceling each other's votes out. And this has become a running thing in Arizona where that like older demographic that took all of the Republican vote and made us red, their children are now canceling out their votes. So that's kind of where we are now.
Beautiful.
So you have the younger demographic, and then the funny thing is like even today, of course, Andy Biggs made a comment about the spending bill and then said we are $33 trillion in debt. And of course, I posted that since Andy Biggs has been a congressman in the United States, our deficit has grown $14 trillion under Andy Biggs. So he's not like, the good thing about this is he hasn't been there 2 years where you can use the excuse of I haven't been here long enough. He's been in that seat for almost 10 years, going on 10 years now. What has he done? And he was in the Arizona State Senate before that. I think he was head of the Arizona State Senate at one time. And Arizona has progressively got like, people are mad now, like this ESA voucher thing, the water thing.
Do you want to explain the ESA voucher for those who may not?
So ESA voucher is pretty much, they build it as a way for like people to have a choice in school and like take money away, kind of giving people scholarships for private schools and things of that nature. And all it ended up being was the voucher is not enough to pay tuition for private schools. It is, so people, they would say, hey, here's 10 grand, but it's going to cost you 18. They don't have another $8,000. So all of those vouchers are going to people who can already afford it. And it's been proven they're using it things like ski trips and ninja schools and IKEA bookshelves and all this stuff. And and
in the East Valley, let's be clear, the East Valley out here, when you're talking about private schools, you are talking about Christian and Mormon private schools, places where they will never teach LGBTQ stuff. Right. They will definitely put God in schools. These are Christian indoctrination schools.
Right. And we have watched our budget. Like, I think we had a $400 million shortfall. We're going to have a $450 million shortfall this year, which will put us about $1 billion in debt in the state of Arizona. That's a lot for a state.
So let's also on the ESA vouchers too. Sorry, but when the voucher itself is also taking the money, the property taxes that were meant to pay for that school out, right? So not only is it only going to rich parents who can afford to move their kids, it's also taking funding away from the public schools in the area, right?
So yes, so on top of, yes, it's going to rich families, and then we all know that property taxes is what funds public schools. So the public schools that are in poorer areas are getting even less funding due to the ESA vouchers. And the good thing is, in the state of Arizona, we have a governor that's willing to fight. She wants transparency. She wants to get rid of them. And of course,
Kari Lake. I heard Kari Lake is the governor. That's the rumor.
Is that
right? That's what she keeps saying. She keeps saying she won. I don't know.
We'll have to check.
She's a fighter
on her Arizona State Senate race. She's going to be campaigning this week in Iowa. So
good.
Yeah, for the Arizona
she picks up some votes.
Senate. Or for the federal Senate, but in a district in Arizona, because that makes sense. Like, I'm running in District 5. I'm actually having a campaign rally in Seattle next week, because that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
but,
good.
But the governor of Arizona has been, we had our State of the Union for the state of Arizona. She wants transparency. She's going to open up assistance for housing. And it blows my mind that it's like, we want to help people, but not with these. We've proven that the voucher program doesn't work. So it helps me to point out that the state of Arizona got into such a bad place due to Republican policy. So I've talked to people already that are, they're like, well, I'm kind of sick of the way things are running here. And I was like, everything that you have dealt with is because of Republicans. It's time to change the narrative in this state, and I think we're moving in the right direction. It's not going to be easy. If I lose, I lose. That's right. But if I can call Andy Biggs a fucking idiot to his face like one time, I guarantee you, if he debates me, you will hear me call him a fucking idiot. They can.
Do you think there's any chance he debates? Because he has refused to debate the last 2 elections, even as them being that close. I don't think he will debate. Do you?
I don't think he'll debate me. Oh, I will make it very clear that I will debate him, and
Right.
I will meet him anywhere. If he wants to meet in Maine, I'll come to. If he would like to debate in front of the border in Eagle Pass, Texas, I'll do that too. But I don't think he's going to, because the same as Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, that entire Freedom Caucus, they don't want to have to actually answer. It's the same reason that Donald Trump is.
Granted, sorry, I don't mean to cut you. On this live, it's the Free Dumb Caucus. We don't. It's
Dumb.
Free Dumb. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you just got to get there. Thank you.
But they don't want to debate, because then they have to answer for their stupidity. You can't, like, the problem is when you get in front of people, like not just your group cheering you on and saying how great you are and patting you on the head. Your fear-mongering doesn't work with educated people. Your fear-mongering doesn't work to like the normal voting citizen. It only works for your base, and that's why like people like Carrie Lake will be in Iowa. So when you watch a clip of it, everyone will be cheering and high-fiving and chanting USA, because then it doesn't make you sound like an idiot, even though you are.
Right. Well, what? So you're going to be in a pretty contested primary. I assume you would consider yourself the underdog right now in the primary. I'd imagine
Always.
coming in a little later. I was looking at her fundraising. Looks like no fundraising so far. I don't see any cash on hand. This is from Ballotopedia. Have you been able to raise any funds? And how does that work when you switch? Can you take those dollars with you? Anything or does that stay?
Absolutely. So the FEC just gets it as a different district. So like if you went to the Secretary of State, it still shows that I'm like running in District 9 because we had already put in some ballot petition signature pages. But I spoke to like the secretary, not the actual Secretary of State, but the Secretary of State's office. And they were like, as long as you like don't submit anything else, like kind of just stop doing anything when it comes to District 9, you're open to run in District 5. So the statement of interest is in the I've updated like in my bio, anyone who lives in District 5 that's a Democrat, there's a ballot petition that's live. And then with the FEC, I just kind of just went on there and was like, District 9, delete 9, add 5, done. So to them, as long as I am reporting, and most of my funds come from Act Blue, so Act Blue reports for me. So because I get it, some people are like, I don't feel comfortable sending to Cash App or PayPal, which is totally understandable. So I'm like, yeah, fine, Act Blue. They take a little percentage, but it's fine. And I have told people recently that we're trying to get to certain funding amounts, and anything we receive over that will be donated.
What's the level you need to get to, if you don't mind?
So each quarter, for me, I don't need $1 million. Like I'll do it. I'm doing this myself. Like I have like some people that are willing to volunteer to go and canvass. So I just got to pay for things like signs and cards and mailers and stuff like that. So in all honesty, I've done the math. If I could raise, I mean, like the actual goal would be 50,000 a quarter. Like I know that everyone says you need millions and millions. That's because they're hiring campaign managers and this and that. I don't need millions and millions. Like I could do this on my own with volunteers. If I get more than that, I might be able to hire somebody to be like a campaign manager. But because I can pay them. But if it's just me and maybe like a volunteer or two, I legitimately 50,000 would be, and I know to everyone they're like, hey, 50,000, that's a lot. It's not a lot. Like it costs money to do all these things. Like there's a lot of, I got to travel. I got to be able to print things. I got to be able website, yada, yada, yada. So I can tell you that none of the money will be used for OnlyFans or Botox.
That was my next question, and now I'm devastated. So you are not of the George Santos school of thought. You will not. Okay, well that's too. I only donate to candidates who are going to use it for Botox and OnlyFans. I want them looking young, and I want them to creep on people on the internet. So that's disappointing. But
Any
we can get
cash
over that.
on hand further than what I need for the quarter. So I don't know exactly what that, but once everything's ordered and I pay for everything for each quarter, the rest of the money. So what I was told by like an advisor was to keep about $5,000 on hand, just around. So anything over that will be donated. So if I get 50 grand and I only spend 30, I will keep the 5,000 on hand, and then the other 15,000 gets donated. Pretty much, when I go to events, I ask them, where would you like to see this money go? And we pick a few charities. I did it in District 9, so I that's what I'll continue to do. I'm trying to do this without raising $5 million. I think that's a little ridiculous. I think we deserve better as Arizona citizens and as Americans, that someone can win a race based off their policy and based off like being the person they should be, rather than who has the most money. And Andy Biggs is a fucking idiot. So I mean, I like.
Let's clip that. That's the commercial. Andy Biggs is a fucking idiot. I'm Brandon, and I approve of this message. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Right there.
But
how can people, outside of donating, you said through Act Blue, obviously you have Cash App, Venmo, that stuff. How can people help out that may not have money to be able to donate? And maybe they don't live here. Like if we've got people, someone from Kentucky that also thinks Andy Biggs is a dumb fucking idiot, wants to help.
So one main thing, if you do have the money, you can donate from anywhere in the United States. So from Maine to California to Florida. If you like what I have to say, as I would say, you can click my name, go to my link tree, Cash App, PayPal, Act Blue, all there. I'm FEC registered, and it is a tax deduction. It would be for next year's taxes, but still a tax deduction, because not all of us can write off jets and yachts, but it's something. If you can't help, one big thing that I've been asking people to do, follow me on Twitter. We know that the major.
What's your handle, Brandon?
Sorry, I was like, I changed it. I believe it's Donnelly for Congress.
I think
but
we follow each other. Let me look.
I think you retweeted or liked something recently. I think I liked one of your posts, something about technology.
I basically only tweet at Andy Biggs. Literally every single day, whatever he writes, it's always a lie. I correct the lie and then say, comply with your congressional subpoena, Comrade Biggs. Every single tweet I ever see of him, that's all I do. That's basically my existence on Twitter, is just tweeting at Andy Biggs.
But the
let's see.
reason
You said you thought it was what?
Donnelly for Congress, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Donnelly
there we go.
for
So Donnelly,
Donnelly for
DONNELLY, the number 4 AZ.
Donnelly for AZ. Thank you.
There we go. So one more time, at DONNELLY, the number 4 AZ. There you go.
And someone said, "Ew, Twitter, I boycott," which is totally fine. I get it, but there are so many people, like especially Republicans, and like if you want like your message to get, Twitter's a good play, because if you ever notice, like politicians, they always like, hey, look at what they tweeted. I'm not trying to say anything crazy. I'm just getting the message. So to anyone who can't donate, which we would love donations, but anyone who can't donate, follow me on Twitter and just retweet. Like if you don't ever tweet, just retweet the shit that I say. Like that's a good way to get the message. The more eyes that get on this and the more traction we get, because if I'm being honest, I don't want some corporate like billionaire. I want some like dude who's like a super liberal that like, I don't know, won the lottery and was like, you want some of this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take some of that. So the worst part, and I think I've told you this before, the worst part of being like running for office is asking people for money. But I've learned in the last almost year of doing this, you need money. It sucks. I have spent more than I wish to say out of my own pocket as just a regular working class guy. Like I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I didn't win the Publishers Clearinghouse or anything like that. This is my personal money from my, well, I was going to say blue collar job, but yeah, I mean, I wear a certain, a dress shirt to work, so maybe my white collar job.
Yeah, but you're in a warehouse, so it counts.
No, if we're being honest, this is the back room of a 5-star hotel. Like, this is a very nice hotel off in the Biltmore area is where I am right now.
Okay, well, you fucked that up. I gave you that opportunity to say you were in.
I can't lie and be like, yep, working a warehouse.
That's true.
That's true. Too clean to be working in a warehouse, especially with a suit jacket like right next to me. But my shameless plug: follow me, donate, follow me on Twitter, retweet my dumb tweets. But I can say. And I'm not going to take up much more of your time because I don't want you. People love to watch you argue with morons. Actually,
no, the morons aren't showing up, so this is great. Look,
I always forget her name. Who's usually your co-host?
Felice.
Felice is way more attractive than I am, and like I could unbutton like one top button if that helps at all. Look, now
we can't even see. You don't even have any hamburger meat hanging out. You got an undershirt.
I'm a regular
it's nothing.
guy. I don't have the top button. Now I'm a regular guy.
I take it back. Your OnlyFans would suck. So
it would suck. I appreciate you. I really do. I will probably. I think I try to shoot you a message. Maybe we could do something. I know that with Discord and stuff like that, it's not about money. I mean, it is, but it's not about money. Just with your Discord following and stuff like that, and obviously you live in the district, so maybe we could do something and I don't know, get something together. I got to get to a point where I'm like, I don't want to have like a Trump rally, but I want to have like a something. Get people together in the district, and because I don't want to stand in front of people and tell them what I'm gonna do. I want to stand in front of people and ask them what they want me to do. Like what you tell me, and I will make that a part of what I need to do. And I don't live in a world of ifs. I live in a world of wins. When Andy Biggs is no longer the congressman in District 5, I want to make sure that I'm doing the things that people in District 5 want done, not what the Democrats want done or what I want done, what the people who I represent want done.
I love that. And we have a meeting with our moderator team from Discord after this live. We have a weekly meeting, and I'm going to add this to the agenda. We'd love to help. We absolutely hate Andy Biggs, but probably more importantly than that, I think that you are a sensible person. You're the right type of person that could lead this district and have the needs met of both the Republicans and the Democrats, because ultimately the stuff that red and blue care about in this district, the things that are most important to them, aren't really partisan things. They're things like making sure that their retirement is taken care of. They're things like making sure that their kids are educated, that their kids are safe at school. It's things like getting health care. I mean, out here in this area, you do have a lot of the poorer people in District 5, and healthcare is a real issue. And even getting access to a hospital, having caretakers close to you, specifically like in Apache Junction and East Mesa, it's difficult. Yep. So the stuff that you care about and the stuff that you would focus on really would be so much more impactful than Andy Biggs going to take pictures at the border every 5 seconds, complaining about the election being stolen and Democrats in the media. He's completely lost touch with the people he represents.
Absolutely. So what I would ask you and anyone else on Twitter, one of my tweets recently was a retweet of Andy Biggs saying that we shouldn't be signing the spending bill and we need to shut the government down. If you guys could retweet what I said, and I will make this very clear, this isn't me being a politician right now. This is me honestly saying this. If I get elected and the government shuts down while I'm in office, I will not take a paycheck, because Andy Biggs is saying we need to shut it down and that'll show them. Yeah, but you'll still get your paycheck. Andy Biggs doesn't care about the livelihood of regular Arizona citizens or American citizens, because he will still get his paycheck while Social Security stops and Medicare stops and Medicaid stops and a lot of government agencies stop. He still gets his paycheck. So that's, and I mean that. And I will say this very loudly because I just got engaged. My fiance,
congratulations.
Thank you. Does very well in life. So if I didn't take a paycheck, I won't be broke. I'll just have my sugar mama
there you
until
go.
we get the
You
government.
get to stand on a moral high ground and not be broke. It's a double. It's a win-win there. Yeah. Well, dude, I'm really happy that you're in the district. I hope we can figure something out to help you.
Yep.
We'd love to be involved. And our Discord is also maniacal. So there may be some things that we do that you're not aware of behind the scenes that you may not want to be a part of. But anything we can do to remove Andy Biggs, we're on board for.
If you guys are up to nefarious shenanigans, I'm out.
Yeah. Nurse Mana wants to know, do you have a campaign manager? I think you said you didn't currently,
I do not. So I'm doing everything myself. Just real quick, because I got to get back to work. The reason I don't have a campaign manager, I'll make this the quickest story I could. I reached out to a campaign manager. They told me if I wanted to be real about running for this office, I needed to pay them $100,000 up front. And then they would make a video and get postcards. And I'm like, where does $100,000 come from? So what I'm doing now is I would love to have a campaign manager if someone is like about the cause, and I will pay you what I can as donations come in. That's just me being honest. And if that's the biggest stopping point is who like is the money, then I'll just do it myself, because nothing says grassroots like doing it yourself. And I say this in every live I'm in, don't talk about it, be about it. So if I'm going to say, oh, well, I can't run for this office because I can't find someone to be a campaign manager for free. Well, fuck it. I'll be a campaign manager for myself for free. It is what it is.
Perfect. Now, I don't remember, are you in the Discord or not?
I am in the Discord. I think I pop in every now and then everybody ignores me. So
yeah, if you're not being incendiary, they generally
someone's gonna clip what I'm about to say, but like we all know that the most hate or the most attacked people in the world today are cis white men. So I'm just so sick of being attacked, and I feel like I don't matter.
We are the victims. We are the victims. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And nobody clip that. Nobody clip that.
Completely joking.
Yeah, look, I'll be in touch with you. I'm going to talk with the Discord today, and if there's anybody that wants to obviously reach out to Brandon, if you'd like to donate your time or money or anything we can do to get rid of Andy Biggs is a benefit for the entire country. So although you may not directly be voting for Brandon, getting Andy Biggs out of office would be a wonderful thing. I also think I know Clint Smith. I think I
know Clint Smith too. That name sounds very familiar.
I think I played golf with Clint Smith, to be honest. Or he's at my golf course, so I may reach out to him too and see what he's got going on. You did pick up 15 new Twitter followers. I've just been refreshing.
Thank you.
And a bunch of retweets. So thank you guys for doing that. Brandon, best of luck. You're welcome here anytime, and anything we can do, you let us know.
Well, you keep doing what you're doing. I pop in from time to time and I don't interrupt because I do like you and her back and forth and the things that you bring up. And I go live from time to time, but then I don't know, man, like sometimes I think maybe I should be doing lives with maybe like you or just somebody as like a co-host that can kind of, because you know me, I get worked up. And
yeah. I don't know anything about getting worked up.
Yeah. So eventually there's going to be like a tweet from Andy Biggs that's like, look at this guy. And it'll be me like calling somebody a fucking idiot. Which, by the way, if
Andy it'll be him.
Ever posted a video of me being angry, I'm just going to retweet it and say, and by the way, Andy Biggs is a fucking idiot too. Somebody clip that.
Love it. Love it. All right, brother.
All right, man.
Well, look, yeah, we'll figure something out. Let's be in touch.
Sounds good. Thank you, brother.
I did. We'll see it.
Later.
Bye. Brandon in Arizona. I'm sitting here. I have like a fan going, and I'm like, "What is that smell?" It's me. I didn't wear deodorant, and it's a rough go this morning. So I just want you guys to know that I'm sitting in my own smell right now for you. I cannot see the comments. I don't know what happened. Can you guys see the Jen? Can you see the comments? I don't know what happened. Is the live still going? Jen, will you message me if the live is still? Actually, just Discord. Tell me if the live is still going. This is weird. I can't see any comments. All right, well, that sucks. I can't see any comments at all. What are we at? We're at 12:35. Here's what I'll do. I will, there's no opposition. I must have cleared them. Oh, how do you unclear the comments? How do I undo that? Oh, there they are. I see them now. And they're big. Somehow I made them big. I don't know how I did that. I'm happy to open up the box just for anything you guys want to discuss, opposition or not. We haven't done that in a long time. I haven't been alone in a long time. So I will open up the last 25 minutes, hop in the box. I'll let Jen take control of who's coming up. Just because there's going to be multiple people jumping in the box, just understand we're be semi quick if you can, and we'll do it that way. I don't even know how to do any of this stuff. This is wild. I don't know. I can only make the comments big, but I can't make them. All right. First up is this Christopher? Hey, how you doing? You there? Christopher?
Hey, yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right. So I've been wanting to ask you this for a while, but I don't like, or I tried bugging you once, but I realized you'd like doing opposition, but this is an opportunity. Did you see that Lombardi, our quote unquote friend Lombardi, goes around now under the name, I forget which name, it's irrelevant because I don't even like giving him this attention, but he pretends that he's a black man now. He has the profile picture of a black man.
Yeah, I think it's Stacy, I think. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's gone under different ones. And then when they tried calling him out saying, turn on your camera. I don't have a camera, I have a BlackBerry. And he like goes around saying, I'm a black man. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe he gets platformed.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't even think he's tried to come up in the live in a long time. The last time I saw him was on Jones, and then it may have been you that sent me the video. I guess he finally did turn on the camera, but then he just showed his hand, and it was pretty ambiguous. Yeah, it's wild. I don't know what that's all about. So I'm being told Stacy, Reggie, Lombardi, Claiborne. I don't know. Is anybody still platforming him? I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's been on Ethan's. I don't know if you know Ethan. He's been on Ethan's live. I've seen him in other lives, but like, man, cry for attention much. You know, I think that's what it is. Like, if you go to those lengths, man, you got problems in life. But anyway, keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you go.
All right, thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.
I'll pop you out there. Jen can do it. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't tried to come in here for a while. Pragmatics. What? What do you want?
So Jen said I could ask you any question I wanted.
Terrific.
So
terrific.
You said that you've been known to be called a snack, and I just want to know what snack. Oatmeal cream pie, cosmic brownie. Let's hear it.
By the way, I saw Dougie. Dougie works out all the time. I was watching his live yesterday. He was just eating, and at the end of his live, he just opened up a box of oatmeal cream pies and just killed them. I was called a snack by a group of listeners one day, a little bit older than myself, so maybe significantly older. I think that's probably the only time I've been called a snack. However, if we're talking about those oatmeal cream pie versus cosmic brownie, I'm going to go oatmeal cream pie every single time. I love a good cream pie.
How do you get that with a carpet?
You just do. You just lay on the carpet and you just eat the cream pie. That's what you do.
Well, you're a good sport. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I'm going to be talking. We're going to discuss this in the moderator call. This is one of our other moderators, guys. If you guys aren't following Pragmatics, he's brilliant and also an asshole. But I love that about him.
To someone in the comments, I am not opposition, unfortunately, but I can pretend to be.
Feels like opposition sometimes. I tell you that. Sometimes it feels like opposition there in my Discord.
That's just because I'm a raging leftist, and you know,
we're all miserable. All right, get out of here. I appreciate it, brother. See ya. All right, let's make it weird. This used to get way worse. Back when we used to do Ask Me Anything, which apparently Jen has just turned this into Ask Me Anything, because Jen has a sick sense of humor. It used to be a lot worse than this. About once a week we would do Ask Me Anything, and it was just everybody's excuse to make my face turn red, which is it's not hard to do. All right, who's this? Lego, great.
Morning.
What's up? Good morning.
What was that? Great.
Oh, nothing. Nothing. We'll find out if I was right or not. What's up?
I just wanted to know if you shared with Felice the amazing information pertaining to the candies that you guys were talking about like a week or two ago. I sent you a DM that you can get just that flavor on Amazon.
Oh, I don't know
The
if I shared that
fruity,
with her.
the vanilla fruity
Yeah, the
Tootsie Rolls.
vanilla. I don't know if I shared that with her, but she
You
didn't
need
even
to.
show up today. So does she deserve that?
Well, yeah, because I sent it to you like 2 weeks ago. And I think that if you had shared it with her 2 weeks ago, she'd have the information.
I could have sworn I ordered them, and I never did get them. Let's see, vanilla. What's it called? Tootsie. Yeah, there we go. Tootsie Rolls. If you guys,
They're called
you guys know
midgets.
midgies. I think they're midgies.
Sorry, I apologize.
You got canceled.
I'm so sorry.
They do. They have them. You can get a 2-pound bag for $25. I don't know how much is that. A lot of 2 pounds seems like a lot.
Yeah, it'll last for a while.
Well, it depends on how much you're getting after the cannabis there.
So
they won't last quite as
yeah,
long.
I know, but like 3 days if you're lucky. And then I had a second question. District 5, is that only Mesa, or is that Mesa and Apache Junction, or what does it include?
Let me pull up the map. I know it includes. I don't even think it's all of Mesa. It is Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Santan Valley, Apache Junction. In fact, I think I think that I'm where my house is. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm on the east side of the 202.
Right.
And
no, I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. Oh yeah, we've talked about.
I'm
That's
familiar
right.
with the area.
That's
I'm on
right.
Power and Brown, so I know where
You're the
at.
one that told me about Cocopelli, right?
Yes. Did you go there?
No, I'm gonna go today. I think I forgot
Cinnamon
all about
Toast
it.
Crunch bagel.
Oh, sign me up. So yeah, it's Apache Junction, Gilbert, Chandler, Queen Creek, Santan Valley.
Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I had.
All
Thanks.
right.
Bye.
See it. Bye. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I expected it to be worse. Man, I stink so bad. I'm not usually somebody who has like BO problems, even if I do forget to wear deodorant. This is rough. I think it was the 4-day bender I went on of eating everything inside. When my family was here, from like 9 a.m. till whatever time I passed out, like we were pretty stoned for like 4 straight days. Maggie!
Yay! Good morning.
Hey!
For you.
What's up?
How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. I was just wondering if you could give us the mushroom stuff that you use again, and don't you use like a coffee substitute that's made out of mushrooms?
Yeah, I think it's on my. I can't remember what it's called, and I don't have it with me. I'm out. Oh wait. Oh, there was one that I used on TikTok, and the other one is called Four Sigmatic. That's the company. It's Four Sigmatic, and they do like a mushroom coffee. It's really smooth coffee, by the way. Yeah, so it's really smooth. I drink it all the time without any sweetener. But Four Sigmatic, that's the one, and I'm not getting paid for that, which is disappointing.
Well, we'll have to check on that for you then.
Yeah, I'll get like an Amazon link for it. But yeah, Four Sigmatic was the one. You asked me that the other day, and I didn't tell you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just thought I'd catch you now. I appreciate it.
Yep. See you, Maggie.
Bye.
Bye. I've heard of Mudwater. Corey's talking about Mudwater. I've never tried Mudwater. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on Mudwater. I don't know if Four Sigmatic is available on Amazon. If there is, I may throw up a link. Maybe you guys can. Al, welcome.
RTP, how's it going, man?
Wonderful. God, that voice. That is sultry.
Oh, well, get it from my dad. I'm gonna tell you.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Hey, I was wondering, have you guys thought about going like on a tour, you and Felice, like a little national tour? It doesn't have to be a big one, but come to like the East Coast or wherever, just to, meet and greet your people and see what's happening locally in some hotbed areas.
I think that would be awesome. Honestly, I have not thought of that. I don't know. It still baffles me that honest to God, it still blows me away that however many people, like that anybody tunes in and listens every day. It still throws me for a loop. I think that'd be a fun thing to do if we could figure out a way to fund it and go. I'd be interested in that. I don't know if Felice would be super interested in spending full days with me. She already has a hard enough time with 3.5 hours, so it's probably something we'd really have to work hard on.
Jen would clearly have to be there to, chaperone.
Well, I would get lost.
Separate,
I would not make the plane without Jen. Yeah, I would be lost. Jen would definitely have to go.
Awesome.
That's a good idea, though. We've talked about doing an Arizona meetup. There's also a lot of other creators here. But I've just been waiting till it was a little bit warmer so that the meetup wasn't. I mean, it's freezing. It's in the 40s today. We may not make it. This may be the last day. So we've talked about in Arizona. I've met up with some other creators here in Arizona when they've come to visit, and it's been fun. But that is a good idea. We're going to talk about that.
Cool. Love the show, man. Talk to you soon.
Where are you at, Al?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
I've heard of that. I've been there before. Great airport. One of the best airports.
It's okay if it's your final destination. Connecting, maybe not so much.
I've only ever had layovers there, and there's good food in the Atlanta airport. That's how I judge airports, is the food. Yeah,
It's gotten a lot better. For me, the airport that I can't stand is Charlotte because
it's horrible.
Horrible. I will land
your
in.
luggage will never make it through Charlotte.
That's why I never do. I always do carry on. I never check in. So for me, if I land in Charlotte, it's always Concourse B, and I've got to make it all the way to E in maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah, no shot.
It's horrible. So,
all right. Well, I'll keep you posted if we go to Atlanta. That'd be a good spot to go.
Yeah, you're always
you can show us
welcome here,
around.
man.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
See ya. Denver's rough. I've had one layover in Denver, and it was weird. I ran into like somebody I definitely didn't want to run into, like not an old friend, but somebody I didn't like, but I was never like mean to, so I thought we were friends. Oh, hey, Smiley.
Hey, how are you? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm good. I had so much energy with "Hey, Smiley," and you hit me with your monotone voice. What's up?
I'm happy. You can't hear the smile in my voice?
Well, it sounds a little better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Just maybe let your voice know you're happy once in a while.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm happy because the NFL season is over. There are no more
for your
games
team
that matter. Yeah. And I was just curious, do you think that your team has a chance?
A chance? Oh, come on, man. The Niners are the favorites, aren't they?
No chance.
Is it Baltimore? Is Baltimore the favorite? Let's look.
Baltimore is very much the favorite.
What do you mean very much? What does that mean? This is an East Coast bias.
Really? You think so?
Probably. Aren't you? You're kind of close to Baltimore.
Yeah. I lived in Baltimore for 9 years.
Yeah. Niners are the favorites. Baltimore's second. Take that.
According to who?
The sports books.
All the sports books?
Well, I mean, they mostly move together. There's really only like 3 odds makers, and then sports books will adjust their lines based on how it's being bet. But right now, Niners they were plus 210 last week. Now they're plus 230. Ravens are plus 350. For anybody who doesn't gamble, thank you, Kristen Bang Bang Niner Gang. I agree. Basically, that means if you bet $100, you would win $230 plus get your money back. So if you put $100 down at the casino and the Niners win the Super Bowl, you would get back $330, $450 if it was the Ravens. Buffalo's fourth. So yeah, I think we got a shot.
So here's why I think San Francisco is favored today by the books. It's because San Francisco is far and away the best NFC team. Like they're gonna probably make the Super Bowl for the NFC. The AFC has a bunch of teams that are really good. So to put money on the Ravens, it's not a sure deal. The Chiefs still have a shot.
Yeah.
But I think
Bills have a shot. Chiefs are below. Chiefs have less. Their odds are worse than the Cowboys. That's crazy.
But you also have to remember the public is betting the Niners and the Cowboys because the public is full of a bunch of idiots who root for the Lakers and the Cowboys and the Niners no matter where they live.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So,
me. I didn't grow up in San Francisco. I'm a 49ers fan.
Right. Why are the Niners not America's team?
It's a good question. I think it's likely has to do with the. You want the truth? I think that being in San Francisco, you could never be that. Like half the country thinks San Francisco is like a liberal hellhole.
Has it always been that way? I guess it has, right? Like the
I've been reading a book about like the housing in San Francisco. Yeah, they were always they were always really afraid of. No, I guess not. No, so since the 80s, I think that's kind of when it changed. Maybe early 90s. But yeah.
Who's the backup? Is it Darnold?
Sam Darnold, that's right, Big Red.
And he's going to, I mean, like if Purdy, I know you love Purdy, but if Purdy gets hurt, like there's not that much difference between Darnold and Purdy, right? They're both slightly below average quarterbacks.
Come on. Purdy is the next Tom Brady. I don't want to hear this about. I don't want to. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Now here he is as a star. He's from Queen Creek, Arizona. He's from my district. He's going to be represented by Brandon Donnelly. Doesn't get better than that. That's Brock Purdy. He's undersized, and overmotivated. And I will say this, the only player that you want on your team to be obsessed with Jesus is the quarterback. If your quarterback is obsessed with Jesus, that's a good thing. They're not going to get in trouble. And Brock Purdy, he loves himself some Jesus. I think that's a good thing.
I do think he's going to have a really good Pro Bowl.
Get out of here. I'm sick of you already. Get out of here.
Have a
Will
good
not
day.
take any more Niner slander. Anyways, good luck to your Washington football team Commanders in
Hey,
their
second pick, baby.
non-playoff game, and they'll fuck up that second pick for sure. And then
Well, we
maybe
did the
after,
first. Yeah, we did last time with Chase Young, and you guys traded for him. So good luck with
yeah,
that.
enjoy that 5th rounder you got for Chase Young while he's sacking people in the Super Bowl. Bang bang, Niner gang. Sorry for everybody who doesn't like sports, but that's what we're doing. How much time we got? 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes of this. Who's next? Brock Purdy, Pro Bowl MVP. I hate all of you in the Discord.
Hi,
Miss
Jay.
Julie.
Hi,
Hi.
honey. I'll keep it quick because I
I
see
missed
it's
you.
getting late. I've missed you too. I did cause quite a ruckus last week. I apologize.
That's okay. That's all right. How's everything going? Have you got it sorted out?
Oh, it's going great, Jay. You
Did you
know,
find a gummy?
well, yeah, I had to fish out the yummy gummies out of my granny panties. I started hiding them under my stomach fat. That way, if I ever get robbed, they'll get my wallet. But it's not like they're going to check my chub and see if I got some THC weaselly beasleys in there.
Okay. That's good strategy, Miss Julie. That's really
Yeah,
good.
it's no prison pocket, but it's effective.
Yeah.
It's definitely effective.
Do you have individual? Do you have them in like blaster packs or something, or are they getting?
Well,
Is it
no,
getting
they
your
do.
tummy sticky?
They come 4 in a pack, and they have that fancy sealing. Because guess what? If you don't close it up all the way, they get hard as a brick, and that's not good without teeth. Takes a while.
That's tough.
You know how long it takes to suck something that size? Hint, not long. Because if it's that size, it's not long either.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry, Jay. Must have been reliving some of my bar days.
I was gonna say
You
I
know.
didn't even know you talked about that anymore. I thought. I didn't even
No,
know that was-
Jay, back in the
Yeah.
day, I mean, you'd find me out in the middle of winter in the parking lot going heels to Jesus after I had a few Budweisers in me. They used to all call me Wendy because I'd come in saying, "Where's the beef, bitches?" Oh, I was quite the troublemaker, Jay.
Yeah, sounds like you were a trouble finder more than anything. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds like.
well, let's just say you always take yourself with you. That's just some good advice. You'll never go wrong. All right, well, I'm going to leave you be, Jay. Not feeling too great. I found a bunch of snacks on the top of the fridge. Found some chocolate-covered graham crackers. You know
You got
they're
a-
my
Miss
favorite.
Julie, you got a Trader Joe's around your place?
Yeah, there's one not too far from here.
Listen, I got to give you a tip. This is a hot tip.
I'm listening.
Scandinavian swimmers. They are.
That
They are
sounds like something that you get after. Oh, I'm not going to say.
It sounds like what would impregnate you, but it's not. It is their version.
You said it, not me.
I did say it. It's their version of Swedish fish, but they got multiple colors. They taste better, and they're not waxy. It will
I don't
change.
think anything could be better than the Swedish fish I began enjoying back in the early 70s as a child when we'd get them for a penny in a brown paper bag.
Well, listen.
Don't just fuck you in Trader Joe's. I'm out of here. Later, bitches.
Trader Joe's catches a stray. All right, we got time for one. Oh Christ. Yes.
Yes. So I've been trying to find a good embarrassing question to ask you. I've been
Terrific.
asking the Discord. They've failed me.
Good job, Discord. Thank you for failing, Jen.
But so since I couldn't necessarily find one, I found some questions that I probably know the answers for, like why did you dump your last girlfriend?
Turns
What's
out
the
she
most
wasn't
embarrassing
real.
thing that ever happened to you? Probably
Same story.
probably right in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the only other thing that I was trying to think of is, like I said, I was scrambling, is there's two questions. How many girls' numbers are in your phone? And have you considered plastic surgery ever? And what is it for?
I don't know the answer to the first question. There are very few numbers that are recent that I've recently acquired. Very few. There are very few people that have my number outside of like the people I already interact with. I'm pretty honest to God, like I'm pretty focused on this and building out some of our other social media platforms. And then like
That you're not allowed.
my daughter's at the coolest stage, and it turns out, unbeknownst to me, I have terrible fucking judgment in basically all decisions that I make in my life. And
Yes.
so it did, yeah. So after being catfished in a way that everybody else would have figured out very quickly, and it took me
Yeah,
5 months,
we
I've realized
covered
that, yeah, I need second opinions a lot. And the second question was what?
Actually, scratch that one. Someone mentioned in the Discord. Fuck, marry, kill. Biggs, Lake, Gosar.
All right. Well, look, I'm straight, so I think we know where Carrie Lake has to go. That's
You said you might need to try things.
well, I feel like Carrie Lake is also trying things. Like I've also never been with a delusional racist, so I think that would be like a new thing. That would be fun. It would be fun to like. It would be fun to have somebody tell you that the things that you're doing at the time weren't actually happening. I feel like she would at least make it interesting. I would marry Andy Biggs because I think that there's some money there. Andy's a dirty little bitch, and he would just do like I could just boss him around. He would do whatever I say because he's a coward and he has no real spine. And Paul Gosar's got to go.
All right.
And in at any time I'm leaving any of them for Mitt Romney.
All right. Well, so P Berry Wiggle Whistle, which I gave her I don't know her pronouns.
P
I
Berry
apologize.
Wiggle Whistle?
Yeah, so people thought it was funny in the Discord to like challenge nicknames, and so I had a random nickname generator, and I gave them that.
Oh, I
nickname.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what your second question was. If I ever considered plastics or just, I guess not plastic surgery, just any surgery.
I mean, I said plastic, but yeah, I mean,
I've never considered plastic surgery. I have considered getting my third nipple removed, but I kind of like my third nipple, so I keep that around.
so no calf implants.
Have you seen my calves? I have massive calves.
I mean,
Like,
you do have some trunk legs. Remember, I found that picture.
yeah.
So
I have massive, like heart-shaped calves. My earliest memories were of people like as a kid, like 3, 4, 5 years old. I would just be out playing, and people were like, "What's up with his calves? Like, what's going on?" Like, even as just like this kid, I was a little kid with just massive calves, and they're all like they sit at the top, and they kind of have that little shape. So, I would say calves are probably actually my best feature.
right. So you got your tree trunk legs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got a big ass, big legs, calves, and 3 nipples.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Jen, that was surprisingly mild. Thank you.
I know that's why I'm disappointed, honestly, in myself.
You're disappointed in yourself.
I really am. So
All right. Well, everybody, make sure when you come across Jen, you tell her thank you. This doesn't exist without Jen. It doesn't work without Jen. Jen is my babysitter. She probably couldn't come up with answers because she's been trying to figure out how to babysit me without Felice all day. So, Jen, thank you for
it's a
all
lot
that
of
you
work. I've said it 1,000 times, like herding cats. So
do. Okay. Thanks, Jen. See ya. If you want proof, you can join the Discord. Maybe I'll send proof at some point. I do have 3 nipples. When I was a child, my mom did not believe it was a third nipple. She still will not agree that it's a third nipple. She claims that it's a birthmark, but I don't know if any of you guys have birthmarks, but if you rub a piece of ice on your birthmark, I bet it doesn't change much. If you rub a piece of ice on my birthmark, there are some very physical changes. We'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on the solo show. Felice will be back tomorrow. You can all rest assured. Thanks, Brandon. Make sure you guys are following Brandon on Twitter, retweeting his stuff. If you're on Twitter, if you're boycotting him, fuck Elon Musk. Nobody gives a shit. But thank you guys for the support. We hit a subscription goal today. I appreciate that. Honestly, guys, like, we are trying to build something, and we specifically want to build a product that everybody can enjoy and that people don't have to pay for. We don't want to ever be put behind a paywall. We don't charge people anything to join the Discord. I don't have a Patreon that I hide stuff behind. We want as long as we possibly can, we want our content to be free. However, if you have the ability to support by subscribing, we have the Venmo and the Cash App there as well. Sending gifts is always appreciated, or subscribing to us on YouTube, which is also free. Following on Twitter, which is also free. Following on Instagram, which is also free. We hope to continue to be able to create a product that is not behind a paywall. We have some really cool plans going forward. We had a conversation, Jen, myself, and Felisa last night, and we're going to go over some stuff with the mods today. We have big plans for 2024, and hope to be bringing some different type of content to you every day. So appreciate the support, but mostly just appreciate you guys' friendship and kind words, and I appreciate you picking on me. Tomorrow, like I said, Felice will be back, and everybody else will be happy, and I will see you then.